What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another edition of the evolution of Sports Talk Television. It's the Sports Web. I'm your host, Peter Blake, giving you something to think about. How do we start off this show as we always do here, usually on a Monday, Wednesday night, and of course, before and after Bucs games. Bring your passion, bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. On tonight's show, we were supposed to have Leo Haggerty, but he is not going to be on with us right now. We were supposed to have Harry the Greek. He is not going to be with us on for right now. He's going to be on in a little bit later to give his picks out. So we will definitely talk with you about what else about your Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Of course, getting ready for the Indianapolis Colts, losing to the San Francisco 49ers. If you want to talk about that, of course we can. The questions for the night, in your opinion, Bucs fans, who's more to blame for the 4-6 start? Is the offense or is it the defense? So without further ado, you ask for phone calls, you get phone calls. Let me go back out to Eric leading it off here on the Sports Web. Eric, welcome to the Sports Web. Happy Thanksgiving, my friend. How you doing tonight?
Happy Thanksgiving to you.
Thank you, sir.
Man, it's going to be – what do you think about the backup quarterbacks this week to watch from Florida State versus Gators?
Well, yeah, I didn't think you were going to start out with that, but you're exactly right. Jordan Travis is going to be out. Of course, he's out with the horrific injury last Saturday night. So it is going to be the backup quarterbacks. And then, of course, Florida's quarterback goes out. So, yeah, that's another thing we may be talking about there. College football with Florida State and Florida. And, of course, USF, one win away from being bowl eligible.
Yep. Do you think the both – I mean – do you think – I don't even think Gators going to win, though. I'm going to keep it real.
I don't think the Gators are going to win that game, but you never know. I mean, again, Florida State's got lots of talent on both sides of the ball, especially offensively. You know, wide receivers, of course, Keon Coleman and Johnny Wilson and Troy Benson. Yes.
I think they can still make these – man, I've been hearing this committee, man. I really don't think they're going to let the Florida State get into the top four if Georgia lose.
Well, some of that's going to be decided this week, Eric, because of course Michigan is playing Ohio State, so one of those teams is going to have a loss, of course. So
can they tie?
Can they tie? No, they're not going to tie. No, they're not going to tie.
They can't tie in college.
No, they're not going to tie in college football. No, they're going to play it out. So yeah.
I'll get my next question, man. Man, how about you? How do you think about them both so far this year?
Well, pretty good so far. I mean, 2-2, and we talked about the other night a great game.
We beat Boston. That was a great season without Bassey.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. All right, I'm telling you right now, I'm going to switch gears on you right now. What do you think about your Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the Indianapolis Colts on Sunday?
Honest right now, panic. Honestly, battle Gardner Minshew versus I don't even know.
Gardner Minshew versus Baker Mayfield.
If we can't stop the run, is Jonathan Taylor playing?
Jonathan Taylor is playing, yes. In the last 4 games, he's averaged about 72 yards a game. So there'll definitely be a matchup that the Bucs have to win. Absolutely.
Man, it's going to be – I don't think we can win that matchup. Do you think?
Well, we'll see. We'll see. It may be a high score credit. They've done a good job against the run. They did a good job the other night or other day against Christian McCaffrey, only allowing 78 yards. So I understand where you're coming from. It's usually the passing game that's been the problem. And, of course, you've got injuries to Jamel Dean and, of course, Carlton Davis and Levante David. So, yeah.
Hey, did you hear about Yaya W? I hear Yaya might be starting.
Well, he may be getting some starts, and he definitely deserves some starts the way he's playing the other night or other day. I keep saying it again, 2 sacks other day.
And I heard that corner too. might be getting to the starting lineup.
Well, it's going to depend on who's going to play in this game. Of course, Carlton Davis again, Jamel Dean are both hurt, so you may see a change.
I don't think we need them. I'm going to keep it real. We hold those receivers without them. Without our starting corners.
The way they played this year, I definitely kind of agree. I think you still need them. I still think they can play a lot better than what they have. But I still, we'll see how it goes and if those guys play coming off an injury.
I got a question for you. Your honest opinion, what's your panic meter right now with this Bucs team to finish up the season?
I think. Listen,
you think we're gonna top 10 pick? How do you think this is going to play out?
All right, I'll tell you what. I'm going to go ahead and answer your question off air, Eric. Thanks a lot for the call. Appreciate you. Happy Thanksgiving. I think the schedule's favorable. I really do. I think they can win some games here. They have to have a better effort, of course. They're not going to play a team like the San Francisco 49ers. Look at their schedule overall. Jacksonville at home. Seems to be somewhat of a daunting task. You have Carolina 2 times. You still have Atlanta. You have the Saints. Very winnable games, but when it comes down to it, the Bucs have to do more when it comes to not only scoring more points, of course, because 13 points, 14 points, not going to get it done. You got to score over 20 points, and your defense definitely has to do a better job, of course, against the passing game. All that is going to be. We're going to see how it works out against the Colts, because is Carlton Davis, is Jamel Dean going to play in that game? What's the long-term status of it? It certainly looks like Jamel Dean is going to play for the rest of the year. He avoided a serious injury. Carlton Davis, on the other hand, hip injury, and then Levante David with the groin. That could be a lingering thing. Tell you what, let's go back out to the phone lines. What's your name? Where you're calling from? You're on the Evolution. Happy Thanksgiving, my friend. Hello? Hello? Welcome to the Sports Web.
Hey, Peter, sorry about that, man. I hit the mute button. It's James Mulvaney. Happy Thanksgiving to you, buddy.
What's going on, buddy? Yes, I know Mr. Mulvaney, being the Jets fan here. You have something to say about the Bucs, or you want to talk your Jets? What do you want to talk about?
I'll tell you what. I'll talk Bucs first, man. I'll tell you what. I agree with what you were just saying there. The one thing the Bucs got going for them, we've already said this 1,000 times, the division's absolutely terrible.
Yep.
But I'm tell you what, I look at this week, and I tell you what, New Orleans definitely is going to have a challenge on their hands. The Bucs are going to have a challenge on their hands. If it was in Tampa Bay, I would say Tampa Bay wins, but it's not to say it's not a winnable game for them. And then I look, they play the Panthers in the next. The only thing I could say is the next 4 games, 3 of the 4 are on the road. Mm-hmm. But Green Bay is not going to be an easy game in Green Bay. But it's not to say the Bucs can't win those games. I mean, and then like I said, they have to play New Orleans, and they still play Carolina twice. So I think they've got as good a chance as anybody, because I don't think New Orleans is running away with everything. I think that they're maybe one of the most overrated teams in the NFL, to be honest with you.
You may be right, because they definitely have struggled offensively, even with Derek Carr at the helm. He's coming off of concussion protocols, so it looks like he's going to come back. But even with him, starting for them, their offense hasn't been great. Nothing to write home about. You're exactly right. Atlanta, that's another team they have to play. You felt like they had a good opportunity to win that game, couldn't put that game away, so now they have to go to Atlanta, and that may be for the division. So it comes down to Atlanta and New Orleans, and, of course, you got 2 versus the Carolina Panthers. But right now, you watch this team, even though you're a Jets fan, what's the biggest problem? What has contributed, and this is the question for the night out there for Bucs fans, who's more to blame for that 4-6 start? Is it the offense or is it the defense? Why or why not? Go, Mulvaney.
I'm probably going to go ahead. Honestly, I'm going to go ahead and say the defense. I think Baker's done a pretty damn good job this year. I really do. Mm-hmm. They put up some points. And again, I go back to that Texans game. That was a game they should never have blown. And that was on the defense. Okay. When you score, the Bucs scored 30-something points that game?
37 points versus the Texans, and you're not able to close them out. Yeah, absolutely.
You should never lose a football game when you score 37 points. I don't care who you are.
Agree.
And with the way they blew that game at the end, it was even more disgusting. It's not just they gave up all those points; it's just the way they lost at the end. I mean, nobody and their mother thought that the Texans could drive down the field that way and score with literally no time left. So yeah, honestly, I'd say it's more the defense than anything. I mean, it's pretty even. It's close, but if I had to pick, I'd say it's the defense. And I already told you how I feel about the head coaching. Todd Bowles is not a head coach. He's a defensive coordinator. That's it. I would know this just as good as anybody with him being the head coach of the Jets. He didn't do anything with them. He had the one solid season with Fitzpatrick. They still didn't make the playoffs. So yeah, I'm not a Todd Bowles fan as far as a head coach goes. So, but yeah, just I did switch it over real quick to the Jets, man.
Sure.
You and I talked on Sunday. I told you, hey, we had to win that game in order to have a chance. We didn't even come close. We didn't show up. So I don't know what's going to happen. Maybe we actually come out with some pride on Friday because we have to play on Black Friday. And I mean, Miami's a very good team. But with that being said, Miami still hasn't beaten anybody over 500 this year. So, and the Jets defense is going to show up, but the question is going to be, and they already replaced Zach Wilson, is Tim Boyle going to be able to do anything? And unfortunately, our offensive line sucks so much, I don't think it matters who's behind center.
Well, I tell you right now, I definitely think they're moving in the right direction with relieving Zach Wilson. He should not be a starter in the league. He hasn't shown anything. I think you got to cut your losses. It's disappointing because there were so many expectations with Aaron Rodgers being the starter, and now, of course, he's hurt. There's talk that he could come back, so we'll see how that all plays out. But you got Susan Boyle, Tim Boyle, I don't know much about him. And then you also got, Trevor Siemian, who's got some experience in the league. I think if you go with anybody, depending on what Boyle shows you, which I don't expect much, because I think the Dolphins, they're a winnable defense. Not a great defense, not physical by any means, but that offense, you're going to have to score points. And that's where your defense had the opportunity to shut them down. Can they do it? We shall see on Black Friday. But I think Trevor Siemian going forward gives you the best opportunity because he's going to be a DLG quarterback. He's not going to try to do too much. He's going to work in the confines of the offense. You're going to depend on the running game. You're going to depend on the defense. And then if you're in that playoff chase and Aaron Rodgers can come back, maybe that gives you a boost to eventually you make some noise. But I don't know. I feel bad for a lot of Jets fans out there. And I say this honest to God truth. I feel bad for you guys because you put so much expectation on Aaron Rodgers, and of course, 4 plays and he's done. So one of the top defenses in the league. Can they get enough quarterback play going forward against the Dolphins? We shall see on Friday. James, anything else here on the evolution of Sports Talk Television, my friend?
Nah, nobody. If I think of anything, maybe I'll use my second call for you.
All right, man. Sounds good. Let me give you the Macho Man.
Ooh, yeah.
Appreciate you as always. Again, happy Thanksgiving, and we'll see you on the second call, all right?
You too. Thanks, buddy.
All right, man. That's that easy right there. Open phone line, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. In case you're just watching this show, you can text in, you can call in, but definitely tune in to the evolution of Sports Talk Television. It's the Sports Web. I'm your host, Peter Blake, giving you something to think about. We'll get out to Tampa Bay Ray right out there, best of the Bay on remote, and then we'll have Harry a little bit later giving us a little over-under action as there are 3 games on the slate tomorrow. Are you excited about football on Thanksgiving? I know I am. And I'll ask you this question before we get back out to the phone lines. What are you most thankful for being a Tampa Bay sports fan? And in sports in general, let's go out to the tribal troll.
Acknowledge me.
Mr. Roger Shue, welcome to the evolution of Sports Talk Television, my friend. What do you have to say tonight?
Well, happy Thanksgiving to the Sports Web and
Yes, sir.
all the webheads.
Yes, sir. Happy Thanksgiving to you.
Anthony Richardson is starting some crap in the chat.
I don't pay attention. I'm not paying attention to him. I'm not paying.
He might be the turkey this year.
He is the turkey. He is always the turkey. He's the grand turkey here on the Sports Web. I don't pay no attention to any comments of what he's saying at this point. What's on your mind?
So, the Packers are going to lose tomorrow.
Okay.
Detroit's going to whoop that booty.
Okay.
What are you thankful for this year?
I'm thankful for fans like yourself. I said that on my Facebook post. If you had Facebook, you would know. But I'm thankful for the fans growing this show over the years. I'm thankful for the likes, the shares, the follows. I'm thankful for all the comments. Even if I disagree with them, they're still comments. I'm thankful for getting phone call after phone call. I get on this show, and it takes me about 2 minutes. I ask for phone calls, and people are calling. That means a lot to me. Because I'm able to do what I love to do here on the Sports Web. So I'm thankful for that. And, of course, I'm thankful for my friends and, of course, my family. So, what
Me
about
too.
you?
I agree 100%.
What are you thankful for in sports?
This year, not a whole lot.
Why is that?
Bulls suck. The Blackhawks suck. The Cubs suck. The Bears suck. Yeah, I don't have much to be thankful for.
So you're not thankful for the Bears losing the other day, blowing that lead versus the Lions, because it keeps your chances of getting the first 2 picks overall in the draft next year. You're not thankful for that?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
I'm tired of next year. I have not seen my team win a Super Bowl in 35 years.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, I get
I'm
it.
done. How
I
much longer do I got?
I don't know, my friend. I
want
know.
to see him win another one before I die.
Well, we'll see how it works out. We'll see what Justin Fields
does. It
does
doesn't look
going
good.
forward.
So it doesn't look good.
What would you do if you're a Bears fan? Because I know we talk, not just the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We talk other NFL football teams on this show. What would you do right now? Would you get rid of Justin Fields, or would you draft a quarterback in the top 10 if you get the opportunity? And which quarterback is it?
I would keep Justin Fields for one more year.
Okay.
I would take oh my God, I'm having a brain fart. I forgot his name.
Mm-hmm.
Caleb
Williams?
Yeah.
You're not down on him? You're not taking Drake May from North Carolina or
no.
Penix from Washington or anything like that? No? Okay.
I'm going with Caleb.
All right. Caleb Williams it is.
I would let him sit, let him get used to the game in the NFL and, go from there.
What are you doing with Justin Fields? You trade him?
I don't know. I'm torn. I mean, half of me says yes, half of me says no.
Okay.
What would you do?
I don't know what you do yet. I got to see what Justin Fields has. I was a believer in Fields, and I'm still willing to, wait this process out. But if he continues to turn over the ball in critical situations, it's not going to work out. And I get it. You can use that.
He played the game of his career last week, and look what happened.
He also turned over the ball at a critical time.
So does Baker.
It doesn't matter. I'm not talking about Baker. Why do y'all bring up Baker all the time? It's Justin Fields. We're talking about Justin Fields. And it's not about Baker. He doesn't do it at critical times when his team needs him not to turn over the ball, okay? It's not that at all. It's not even the same. It's not even remotely the same. All right, what else?
That's about it. AEW's on. It's been a good show.
All right,
so far.
Good, man. Good.
Yeah, that's about it. I just wish we were off on Friday. Yeah.
Well, we're not off on Friday. We got to work. So, Roger Shue, thanks a lot for the call. Appreciate you. Let me give you the Ric Flair.
I'll use my second call.
All right.
And I'll keep watching.
All right. Sounds good. Open phone line 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Let's go out to Mr. Tampa Bay Ray Kennedy. Best of the Bay. Rocking backs there. Out there. Windy environment, which I don't know why it's so windy out, but that's okay. Your general thoughts of the Bucs losing to the San Francisco 49ers. Welcome to the Evolution.
Thank you, my brother. And I will mute it when I'm not talking, but I'll get to the Niners and the Bucs. But I'm out here at the Brass Captain, of course, and across the street from Saltwater Hippie out here in Madeira Beach. And I'm setting up, and one of my regulars comes by, and he's like, "Oh, hey, what's up? Doing a show tonight, talking about the Bucs and this and that." And I said, "Yeah, and about the Bulls playing Charlotte on Saturday night." And he goes, "You're a brave man." And I said, "Well, what do you mean brave man? I'm just out here. It's beautiful. It's kind of a little wind in the air, a little front pushing through." He goes, "It's Blackout Wednesday." And I'm like, Blackout Wednesday? He goes, yeah, in a half an hour. And it's already been picking up. I was like, oh, pretty good crowd for the Wednesday night before Thanksgiving. He goes, no, Blackout Wednesday is when everybody got family in town. Tomorrow is just 3 ball games all day. You got turkey bird and tryptophan and all that, but you come out that night and you take the kids have taken this place over and they just come out here and they get obliterated. So if I go off the air suddenly, if my camera falls or whatever, but anyway, thanks for having me, bro.
Yeah, I mean, to try to avoid all that and then don't get involved in that Blackout Wednesday. And if you're out there right now watching this show and drinking, drink in the comforts of your own home. And if you're going to drink when you're out, get an Uber or get a Lyft. You have no reason to do anything other than that. Don't drink and drive, especially during the holiday season, because, the cops will be out for you.
Yes.
Just saying. All right.
And Pete, did you talk about this already? All 3 games tomorrow, right? All 6 teams, NFC. And I'm like, okay, the Amazon Black Friday game is new. And we got the night game and the day and the Washington Commandos and Dallas. But literally all NFC games. And I'm like, I get it. They're going to say that the computer threw together the schedule. We put all the parameters in, but that's really strange. Is it not, or is it just me?
It is really strange because you usually have a little bit of an AFC mix in there, and this year you really don't, right? I mean, you have Detroit and Green Bay, right? And then the game is, what's the second game?
Washington versus Dallas there in Dallas in the God Stadium or whatever.
And then you have San Francisco and Seattle, correct? So
yeah. And well, I hope the Greek will get into this, but I was asking him earlier. I'm like, okay, you got all the parameters in the secret sauce. Which teams were good? We got 85 networks to satisfy. Now everybody's in bed with legalized gambling, whether it's Harrah's or Mirage, or even now it's going to be Hard Rock Casino, Tampa Bay. But it's like, I don't try to be conspiracy. I'm sorry about the win, but does any of this have to do with legalized gambling? I mean, these games, and Harry's going to talk about it, all three of them have wide margins. As far as I think 6.5 or 7 might be the lowest favored game. And these teams you can see upsets in big special games and turn around. Washington gets jiggy with it and figures out a way to stop, Dak. Or, Seattle's had the Niners numbers in the last year. That was one of the stories of last season, how Pete Carroll and Gino and Dave Canales beat them. So it's like it's setting it up to be a big legalized gambling day. And does all 6 teams being NFC, I can't figure out why it would be more stimulating to get those bets rolling. But tomorrow is probably going to be the largest Thanksgiving Day legalized, betting on football. And that might be one of the underlying narratives.
All right, let's talk about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Again, your thoughts on that loss versus the 49ers. What did you see? And I asked this question to the fans out there, and pretty good response. And it was the majority of it was more defense. With the Bucs starting out 4-6, who's more responsible for it? What side of the ball? Do you think it's the offense or the defense? Go ahead and give your points.
It's 100% the offense. Unlike brother, there you are. Unlike 2020 when it was just Tom, Gronk, Fournette, and Antonio while he was, learning that offense that the rest of the team had been in for 2 years. This year, you've got all 11 on that side and 2 new quarterbacks, or 1.5 because the other one's never had any playing time. And what was the score at halftime this week? I think the Bucs were down 13-7, maybe 10-7. And go back to the Lions game. Go back to the Eagles game. You felt kind of from the beginning, they were taking it over. But go back to the Bills game. Go back to the Falcons game. At halftime, all the 3 quarterbacks had not found their jig yet, and all 3 games were within 1 score. The second half, because the offense was 3-and-out turnover, the other defense, Kyle Shanahan or Arthur Smith, they got a chance to run everything at him, throw the entire bowl of spaghetti at the wall, because guess what? The Bucs aren't going to have possession of the ball for more than 1.5 minutes. So let's already start thinking about what we try. And we've seen this Buccaneers defense go into every half in these games we've lost, again, except for the Eagles game, where the game was in hand. And then the second half, Drake London, and then, Brandon Ayuk, and, Devontae Smith. And let's go back to what else did we lose? But my point is, I put it squarely on the defense, although at times the Buccaneers secondary has looked quite secondary.
And see, for me, and that's a great line there, I think it's more the defense that's contributed to this, because I think a lot of people came in thinking, look, Baker's in a new offense, Dave Canales is the new play caller, they're going to have some bumps in the road. But you look at it, a defense that's won a Super Bowl, that knows what it takes, especially that secondary with Carlton Davis and all the trash talk that he had during the offseason, how he was going to wreck this and wreck that and cause turnovers, has been the most disappointing factor. And if you look at it, if they close out the Texans, that's a win. If you close out the Falcons, that's a win. And I get it. People want to say, well, they score more points. Well, if your staple is your defense, not only shutting down the running game, but shutting down some quarterbacks, which, by the way, look at those quarterbacks that they had to face. Desmond Ridder, not great. C.J. Stroud, not great. Even though he has been great as a rookie, you don't expect to give up 470 yards. Those are veteran-laden players. That's Carlton Davis back there. That's Jamel Dean. That's Devin White. That's Levante David. They're all responsible for it. And I think more than anything else, the defense has been more of the contributing factor of them being 4-6. Now, with that being said, are you in favor? Because I know you're a Trask guy. From what you saw with Baker on Sunday versus the 49ers, if he has another bad game or he doesn't necessarily perform up to snuff and this offense does struggle scoring points, Are you in favor of taking a look at Kyle Trask? Yes or no?
We'll get to Kyle Trask, but I want to go back to that inquiry you made about that defense. The defense, we predicate ourselves upon stopping that run. We bend but don't break. I know it sounds like Uncle Monty, but it's actually the Bucs 2023. And, look what happens every time Jordan Whitehead comes up from the secondary and runs up to come in and make that big hit and stop the run or make a big – oh, that's right, because he's with the Jets now. So what I'm talking about is at halftime of all 5 of these losses, our team's still within reach, and we're still coming downhill to stop Christian McCaffrey. We're still coming downhill to stop the running backs for the Falcons. We're still coming downhill to stop Derrick Henry, although we won that game. But my point is, the offense is 3 and out so much in the first half that by the second half, our secondary is still coming down to stop that run, but the OCs on the other side, don't forget, they're paid professionals too. They're in their 4th or 5th playbook because they've got the ball so freaking much. They're trying to find what happens. And then you get Brandon Ayuk on a 76-yard pass, the largest or the longest passing play of the – I get that the defense had those lapses, but let's not forget, guys and girls, it's after the offense is so 3 and out or inept in the first half that the defense is pretty much on their heels in the second half, still trying to stop that run, but also let the other offense try and find ways to attack them. So the big pass plays, those chunk plays, they happen. And I'm sorry.
All right, that's okay. We're on the Sports Web here. I'm your host, Peter Blake, along with Best of the Bay, Mr. Tampa Bay Ray Kennedy, of course, talking about your Tampa Bay Buccaneers against the 49ers, the loss against the 49ers, for them to go to 4-6, to fall to 4-6. Now they have the Colts coming in. What else did you see out of that game last Sunday, Tampa Bay Ray?
Again, it was the big Brandon Ayuk play. Purdy was fantastic. Let's be honest. I mean, this kid is still looking at every bit as good as Mr. Irrelevant did in 2022. The Kyle Shanahan, just like when him and Mike, when him and Dad drafted, the what's his face, the quarterback from Minnesota, Cousins. After, Daniel Snyder made them draft RG3 in the first round, they kind of know quarterbacks. And RG3 wasn't a bad quarterback, but he got injured. But my point being is that I saw the fact that it took them to the second half to figure out a poke and prod how to attack these Bucs, and it was disappointing. And the Buccaneers do find that offense. I'm not saying it's been completely inept. The cupboard's been bare. And I'm not saying Baker is a guy. Baker is 100% a guy. But I said this when Baker signed the day here in Tampa Bay. I think all Bucs fans will agree. He does his best stuff off script. It's just how he rolls. He's got a great arm. He's got balls of steel, and I love this kid. But he does his best stuff off script, which means the defense can tell, okay, if Baker's scrambling, we got to cover the pass lanes because that's where he does his thing. But if he's staying in the pocket, we can cheat on the run, come up and put 10 in the box, and stop a Rachaad White or stop a running game because of the fact that he does his best work off script. So the most disappointing thing to me is even when Baker has that success, because we've already given the 49ers enough time to find what's working for them against our defense, which is already tired for being out on the field so much, it just ends up being too little too late. So as a Bucs fan, I'm still excited about what I see. I just realized that this recipe, you keep mixing the same recipe over and over and not tinkering with it, it's going to end up producing the same meal afterwards.
All right, let's get back to it here. Let's go out to the comments. First says Anthony Richardson, Bucs suck. That's your opinion. The boss is in the house. Anthony again, you're not the boss. Jake is. No work tomorrow, Pete. That's me. Eric says, what's up? What's going on, Eric? Happy Thanksgiving to everybody out there. The question for the night, what are you most thankful for in being a Tampa Bay sports fan? Open phone line, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. I tell you what, doesn't even have to be being a Tampa Bay sports fan. Sports in general, what are you most thankful for? Let's go, says Mr. Jim right there. Let's go! Let's talk sports. Absolutely, Eric. We always do that. Battle, Florida Gators and FSU. We'll get back to that in a moment because I know you have an opinion about that. And, of course, we will be live at Raymond James Stadium on Saturday with USF versus Charlotte at 7:30. Afterwards, we'll have a post game, probably get some comments from Coach Golish. Hopefully a happy locker room because all they need is one game to clinch to be both.
Hey,
yes.
And let's not forget, bro, I've been reaching out to the comms department over there at the Bulls, and they're working with us. So I want to let everybody know that may end up being a clinker. Maybe I'm putting us up here I'm putting us out there, and maybe I come through. Although Peter, you and I have always always worked. We strive to come through. But the comms department's working to give us a setup for that pregame, and then makes it maybe for that postgame show an angle. Yeah, I'm live. Come on in, ladies. Hi. Happy Thanksgiving.
Well, hello.
Talking sports.
There you go. Grab them. Go in and grab. Well, you
Grab them. Yeah. Woo! There you go.
Probably not the right thing to say. All right, go Bucs, says Christopher Cole. Let's go ahead and go out to Eric Bolts 2-2 Jets. Thanks a lot for the update. No one cares about Florida State, their cupcake schedule. Yes, they do on the sports web. Okay. Let's see. Peter Mom said she will make your favorite tomorrow, collard greens. That's not my favorite. Mom won't be here tomorrow. We'll be doing our own thing, but I appreciate your concern as always, Troll. Noel Nation on Saturday. Absolutely. I got to get this in there. Oh, listen to that. All right. Anthony Richardson, the Raiders are the real Pirates. The Packers are the real Bay. Okay. Christopher Cole, it's going to be difficult to win without LVD. Devin White, Dean, CD3. So we're going to see what we have in those rookies. That's the other concern, of course. The big one for me, I get it, Carlton Davis with the hip injury hasn't necessarily played up to his level. Jamel Dean, it looks like he's avoided a major injury there. But LBD with the groin injury, our own Blake Anthony.
What was it? What was Jamel Dean's injury again? Was it third-degree burns?
It was bad. It's not good. Him falling down, mistiming the jumping. He's been burned all year long. He's been highly disappointing. I know where you're going with that. But going back to Blake Anthony has talked to the agent of LVD, which would be Levante David, says everything is fine. I'm not doubting that report, but a groin injury is not necessarily just going to be fine. So do you think he'll play on Sunday? If he doesn't, are you okay with Devin White and the rookie Savasier Dennis?
I think with the move the Bucs make today to bring in a little extra linebacker depth, signing a kid off the practice squad or bringing him in, I think, if you're the reason why Baker Mayfield's still your starting quarterback, one is because he hasn't lost his team games. It's just been a lack of an offense at times, I think, that have kept this team from maybe getting to a better place. But then he's also won this game. I'd say he's won at least 1.5 games. But the reason why Baker still plays, the reason why you take a little bit of rest, a caution with the Levante David, the reason why you still have to make those decisions, not just about whether it'll be more to win or lose this Sunday, but because you realize 5-12 is still going to win the NFC South. I'm kidding on that, but you got to take care of these players, because if I can have Levante in Indianapolis this weekend, or it means missing him later on down the season as we get, Vita Vea back in the postseason and get that roll going. I know that's a big ask right now, Bucs fans, but that's what we do. We hope. I think you got to be cautious with him. So I would say let Levante sit out this week. It's not necessary. The Bucs put the promo of Devin White in because they're wearing the all pewters, the bottoms and the tops this weekend. They put Devin out there. Devin's still got to prove, if not to us, if not to himself, to 31 other teams in the league, that he's going to be worth big bucks. And Peter, at the end of the day, somebody's going to pay Devin White. It may not be that $120 million because he's the best linebacker in the league, but to have a veteran with his speed and his heart and what he'll have to prove, he's still going to get paid. So let the other guy step in, because the NFL, Peter, you know about it, just like here on the Sports Web, it's all about the next man up mentality.
It is all about the next man up mentality, but I can't see anybody paying him big time money, not with what the tape shows. Let me go back out to Ben Cornett from Las Vegas. Happy Thanksgiving, buddy. You're on with yours truly, along with Tampa Bay Ray Kennedy, best of the Bay. What's on your mind tonight? Welcome.
Happy Thanksgiving to you, Peter and Ray. And
the Ben Zone. What's up, Ben?
What's up, Ray? I am thankful to be on this call tonight, man. How's everything going? Long time.
I know, long time. I know you're doing your thing. I know we always talk wrestling on this show also, or we're not really talking wrestling tonight, but we can. And then, of course, we always talk about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We're just doing our thing. I don't know if you've been able to catch some of the shows, but we're on the field now, my friend. I mean, that was the main goal, and we've done it, and we've been able to do it post-game show in collaboration with the J.P. Peterson show. So things are going great down here. We're just I'm waiting for a little bit more cooler weather. If that's going to ever happen, I'm not sure. Probably happens for about 2 hours, and then it goes away. And I'm hoping that the Bucs can, kind of salvage this season out, which I really thought they had an opportunity to beat the 49ers on Sunday. Coming into it, I didn't think they had any chance. So they really outplayed my expectations. What do you say, Ben?
Well, first of all, Peter, I want to congratulate you for getting on the field.
Thank you.
JP, you guys are kicking ass over there. I do listen to your shows,
Thank you.
Or not. I keep it when I drive, home from work, I'll have it in the background. So I do listen.
Wait, Ben, you go home from work because you work more than most cats, my friend, and then you lock it down with your coverage of the Bucs and some of the shows in the Ben Zone, and have at it Fridays and all, brother. So thank you for what you do because it's that stuff we play off each other, and that's how we've known since we've known. How long have we known each other now? It's been like what, 5 years, 6 years? Maybe you've known Peter longer.
Yeah, about 5 years, about 5-6 years, man, at least. Yeah, we all been doing this together. It's been crazy.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And then you're one of the first people I listened to, you and Ray. So yeah,
Thank
it
you.
goes back a long way.
Appreciate
you and
it.
Don, man, the late Don, by the way.
Yeah.
But yeah, Peter, I got to say about the 49er game, listen, I thought we didn't play that bad, at least in the first half. We kept it close.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, it's one of those things where they're just at the mountaintop. We're just in the middle. That's just what it is. They're a Super Bowl contending team.
Mm-hmm.
We're a team that's, I don't like to use the word rebuild, but it kind of is. It's you're disguising that with retooling. It's still a rebuild, but it's retooling as well. And listen, I mean, we're 4-6, but the division's awful.
Hey, can I ask Ben a question, Pete?
Yeah, sure. Go. Well, I want Ben to finish his thought. Ben, go.
No, I'm sorry, Ben. I'm sorry. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, go ahead and finish your thought here,
cool,
Ben.
dude. Cool, guys.
No, what I was gonna say is
Because you were going to say, that's why I got in there before Ben's topic, because you cut me off, Peter. I wanted to ask him, man, I'll ask you too, Peter. The fact that you keep a locker room together, the fact that you still see this team excited to play, because I think, Ben, you made a great point there. At this point, I think we've all accepted that this is 100% as they get rid of the $80 million for the Tom Brady experience, but this is 100% a middle-of-the-mountain kind of team. Could see him excelling up top, but seems like lately we see him more decelling down. But the fact that Bowles keeps his locker room intact and we don't see like infusions or blowups from within, does that speak volumes for why Coach Bowles is still the coach and keeps his job in 2024? Or is that not enough, Bucs fans, for you to go, well, this guy can still keep a locker room together?
Well, let me answer this, Ray, and I'm going to be very honest with you. I don't think it's so much Bowles is, they're sticking with Bowles. Baker Mayfield's a leader. You see him out there, they're playing for him.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if they were playing for Bowles, you would see more guys other than LVD and Villa and Winfield, guys like Carlton Davis, guys like Devin White, guys like JTS, and even, I hate to say it, even Shaq Barrett. They're not playing hard. I think that's a reflection on their coach. I really do. I don't think Bowles is doing enough. He's not a head coach.
Well,
I
think he's a great coordinator, and I think he's. I think that's now under a little bit of I guess the word I'm looking for doubt because
Plethora?
Well, I thought honestly coming in as being a defensive coordinator and a guy that's led a Super Bowl defense, that this defense will be a lot better, and it's just not. And every year it seems like it's regressed ever since he's taken over as being a coach. And then furthermore, I think the accountability factor, he's not holding some of these players accountable. If they're not playing well, bench them. I don't care what they did in the past, whatever they do right now. If they're not playing up to snuff and they're not giving you the best chance to win, then bench them, no matter if it's a rookie or not. So to me, I think you not only have to win the division as a whole, but also I think you have to win a playoff game. And I'm not sure if this Bucs team can do that. And I don't know.
Playoffs.
I don't know if they can do it. I want to be positive about it. I think the schedule is favorable. I think they have to play a lot better, but the injury situation kind of concerns me. And I guess, Ben, my question is Levante David. I mean, if that is a lingering injury with the groin, and he's not 100%, which it looks like he's not going to be 100%. What kind of impact is that on this defense? Because to me, he has been the best linebacker on this team. Even at 33 years old, he's still the best linebacker, which is disappointing because you thought coming into the season, Devin White was going to show out and be the White that was in the postseason. And he's just, ever since that postseason, he's regressed, in my opinion.
Well, look, Peter, I mean, shouldn't we give Levante the $100 million? I mean, a 33-year-old outplaying.
Yeah.
I mean, and listen, there is talent with Devin White. My problem's always been his inconsistency. He'll have one good game, and then he'll have two bad games. And he'll have two good games, then he'll have one bad game. Then he'll have one good game, and and then 3 bad games. We never get that consistency out of him, and that's the frustrating part, you know.
Yeah.
And I think, and it all started in offseason where he was talking about he was disrespected. He wants to be $100 million, and he didn't get the contract he wanted. I mean, prove it.
That's it. Just go out there and prove it. You have every opportunity to prove it. And all right, so let me get you out of here on this really quick. What are you most thankful for with being a Tampa Bay sports fan or sports fan in general? And does CM Punk, a wrestling question, come back on Saturday at Survivor Series in Chicago?
Well, let me answer. I am very thankful for just good health, thankful for good friends, thankful for family, thankful for being on this show tonight, catching up with Peter, catching up with Mr. Ray. And,
Appreciate you.
And then as far as CM Punk, I don't see it. I just don't. I don't see him coming there. WWE doesn't need him. CM Punk needs WWE. I think WWE will be just fine. I think you'll see him eventually, just not now.
Okay.
That's my opinion.
All right. Good stuff, Ben Cornette from Las Vegas. Let me give you the Macho Man.
Oh, yeah.
Use that second call if you want to. And once again, happy Thanksgiving, my friend. All right?
Happy Thanksgiving to you and Ray. Appreciate it, Peter. And I'll talk to you soon.
Hey, Ben, it's good talking to you, brother.
Cornette's right there. Open phone line, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. What do you got over there, Tampa Bay Ray? You got somebody?
I got a Bucs fan in here right now. I got to see your sweatshirt first. You got to come over here. You got the webcams right there. See this right here? What we got going on? Is that coming straight? Hey, brother, put this on. So this is Peter Blake from the Sports Web, and he's going to talk about
All right, man. What's going on? Welcome to the Sports Web. Can you hear me?
I can barely hear you, but I hear you.
All right, good. So what's going on down there? You ready for Thanksgiving?
I'm ready for Thanksgiving. I'm ready for Drinksgiving first. Drinksgiving first.
Blackout Wednesday.
Blackout Wednesday.
All right. How long? We'll be safe now with all that.
Yes, sir.
Of course.
Of course.
Okay. So how long have you been a Tampa Bay Buccaneer fan for?
Since I was born. I mean, 2000. So not that long, but since I was born. Season ticket holder.
What do you think is more contributing factor for this team being 4-6? Is it and there goes Tampa Bay Ray Kennedy right there. So that's what happens with live television, as we have no signal right now from Tampa Bay Ray. So we'll come back out here. You gotta love that. I finally get a Bucs fan on here to interview, and then all of a sudden there's no Bucs fan. So I tell you what, we'll read the comments, we'll take your phone calls as always. Open phone lines, the questions for the night. In case you just joined the show, what is more of a contributing factor for this Bucs 4-6 start? Is it the offense or is it the defense? 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. And what are you most thankful for with being a Tampa Bay sports fan? A sports fan in general. We'll try to get Tampa Bay Ray back on there. He is gone, so that is it, I think, for the night. So let's go out to our comments. Christopher Cole says it's a defensive play calling that has a record so far. I think you can definitely make the case for defensive play calling. I think you can make the case for offensive play calling because, you know, I got a chance to talk to Dave Canales. I think Canales is doing a good job. In fact, I thought he did a very good job in that first half. You just don't put points on the board, and somehow, some way, you've got to start putting points on the board, especially when you're in the red zone. You can't go on a 17-play drive and get absolutely nothing. You can't do that. And you go into it, you know, the first half, 1 catch for Mike Evans, no catches for Chris Godwin. That's not going to get it done. This offense is not going to be successful going forward unless you start to get your playmakers involved. And then, as we always talk about the running game, I mean, you know, the co-host Terry the Greek continues to harp on the fact there is no running game. There is not going to be a running game. I don't know if this running game is going to turn around. And I'm going to go out to some comments here from Skip Pete in care of Joe Bucs fan, which I thought were very interesting, that he mentioned on the Buccaneer Radio Network. Maybe it is the running back. Maybe it's not the offensive line. I don't know. Let's see here. I want to go back out to the comments here, read as much as I can. So we read the Noel Nation. Thank you very much for tuning in. Appreciate you. Let's see. Is defense? I guess that's what he's saying. Sitton says defense and penalties. Okay. Roger Shue, Thanksgiving is for Americans. Guys, let's not make this political tonight, please. It's the defensive play calling that has the record so far. I mean, that's interesting, right? I mean, you go back to it. A lot of controversy on the way Todd Bowles is calling this defense. You know, too much zone, too much man-to-man. You got man-to-man versus the 49ers, and you're not able to defend it. And again, that's been the most disappointing factor because Jamel Dean just got re-signed. You think he's going to play a lot better, and he hasn't. He hasn't lived up to that hype. He hasn't been consistent enough. Just a week earlier, he shut down a DeAndre Hopkins without a Carlton Davis. So you would think that secondary is going to be a lot better, and it hasn't. Those are veterans. Those are not rookies. You know, Antoine Winfield Jr. has played out of his mind. Ryan Neal's been a disappointment. We go back and forth. I mean, but how many Bucs fans can come and tell me that you thought the secondary was going to be the Achilles heel of this team defensively? You know, pass rush, there was some question marks coming in. Vita Vea being there. Shaq Barrett coming off an injury, not necessarily 100% maybe. Years maybe getting up in age there. JTS, not necessarily performing. I mean, there were big-time question marks there. I mean, and at points during that game versus the 49ers, they did have 4 sacks. They just didn't get consistent enough pressure, and that's what happens. You know, perfect quarterback rating, 158.3. First time that's happened since who? Joe Montana in 1989. Second year watching football. True story. I mean, it's not going to get it done. It may get it done versus a rookie quarterback, not named C.J. Stroud. But you got to continue to get pressure. And we always talk about it. You can talk about secondary and linebackers, but it's all predicated up front. And for me, you know, the big question this week is, you know, how many snaps is Yaya Diaby going to get going forward? Because he should have the majority of the snaps going forward. Of course, Todd Bowles was asked about this, and the answer was, you know, JTS knows the system better. Well, that's a valid point. But eventually, you've got to play the player that has the most productive. That's giving you the best chance to win. And, you know, Yaya Diaby, 2 sacks. He has less snaps than JTS. What am I missing here? You tell me. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. So Bucs fans out there, if you're out there, what is the contributing factor? Which side of the ball? Is it offense? Is it defense? And then what are you most thankful for being a Tampa Bay sports fan? All right, so let's go. Did this Bears forget that they were in the Super Bowl in 2006? You're absolutely right. Roger Shue does forget that. Of course, they didn't win it, losing to Peyton Manning and the Colts. Happy Thanksgiving, love. Thank you. Appreciate you, Christine. Ralph Williams there, May from North Carolina. I know Harry the Greek wants him as the quarterback. He may be going up a lot of draft boards with how productive he's been during his career. You know, I go out to that and I kind of think, you know, Money Mitch, is he going to be Money Mitch? They just drafted a North Carolina quarterback just a couple years ago. I don't think they're the same. I'm just saying, you know, maybe did they go in that same direction? Maybe you go for Caleb Williams, maybe you go for a Penix. We'll see. Maybe you don't even draft a quarterback. Maybe they stick with Justin Fields. I think what it comes down to, you know, addressing the draft in the Chicago Bears situation is how Justin Fields plays going forward. I'm thankful for my family, friends, sports, and sports talk streaming shows. Well, thankful for you, man. We appreciate you. One of the great fans here, Christopher Cole, Ray eating Thanksgiving at the Soup Kitchen. Okay. Thank you, Ralph. Ray's already drunk, talking about Whitehead. Yeah, I think he was talking about Antoine Winfield Jr. All right, let's go out to the phone lines. What's your name? Where you're calling from? You're on the Evolution.
Yo, Peter, it's James Mulvaney again.
What's going on, Mulvaney?
What's going on, big man? So I was just curious. Well, I should say I was just curious. I was doing some research and whatnot, and I was looking again. We were talking about the Bucs schedule earlier, and I tell you what. To me, after I just looking at it, because it looks like Atlanta and New Orleans pretty much are playing almost the exact same teams the last 7-8 games of the season. So the thing is, though, for me, when I'm looking at it, especially this week, Indianapolis is 1-4 at home. If there is ever a time they need to go ahead and win, the Bucs need to win on the road, it's going to be this week.
Okay.
And I think if they can go, even if they, I'll tell you what, honestly, this is going to sound crazy because the division is so bad. If they can go 2-3, to me, I was looking at that schedule, and I think on the 31st, when they play New Orleans, that is going to determine who wins the division. Because if the Bucs can win that game, then it's almost like winning 2 games because they'll be up because they won 2 games in the division against New Orleans.
Certainly possible, but you're exactly right. You need a win versus the Colts. That's a winnable game. Again, Gardner Minshew coming into it, 8 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. If you get pressure on him consistently, he is not good against the blitz. He's not been good against the blitz this year at all, so you can force him into some turnovers and some situations like that. You have the Panthers, which, by the way, the NFL flexed it, which somebody has to remind me why they did that, because the Panthers are a terrible team. But it's 4:05 on Sunday, December 3rd. You have the Falcons on the road. Then you go to Green Bay on December 17th. Christmas Eve, Jacksonville at Raymond James Stadium. And then the Saints come there on New Year's Eve. And then you have the Bucs and the Panthers. Of course, the Bucs finishing out there on the road. So again, winnable games. Panthers twice. You should win both of those games. No excuse. You should have won the Atlanta game. We'll see how they play. You should beat the Saints. Jacksonville is a problem. Could be a problem, of course, getting better and better with Trevor Lawrence. And then, of course, Green Bay on the road. I don't think they're great either. I think that's certainly a winnable game. So
that's definitely a winnable game too. I mean, they do play much better at Green Bay. As far as they definitely play better in Green Bay. Especially, there was a big win for them last week when they beat the Chargers. Even though the Chargers are kind of underperforming, the Chargers still have a good team. I just think they're in another situation. They just have a bad head coach. But yeah, to me, honestly, it's going to be a question of, can the Bucs? They're 4-6 right now. Can the Bucs finish 8-9? I think whoever wins that division finishes under 500, and I say that in the fact that if the Bucs can get to that situation where they're only a game out against New Orleans and they play that 31st game, like I said, it essentially is 2 games. They win that game, boom, they end up tying with them, they win. So I think that's, like I said, I think that's where your season is going to be. The question is going to be, can they make sure, they get business done? I mean, they can't lose to the Panthers, and honestly, I just don't think they can lose to the Colts this week. I mean, like I said, Indianapolis has beaten one team this year at home, and if I'm not mistaken, it was the Titans, and we already know how good they are. They're terrible.
Yeah. Because if you lose this week to the Colts, you're 4-7, you're not looking good. And then I think a lot of fans are screaming for Kyle Trask. I think they're already screaming for Kyle Trask. And again, I think Baker Mayfield has played his ass off, but again, he's made his fair share of mistakes. And then the inability of this offense trying to score points. I can't figure it out, whether it's the running game, play calling, offensive line. It's just a combination of things. And then I cannot fathom how you have Mike Evans and Chris Godwin in the first half and they're not involved in your game plan. I love Cade Otton. I love Trey Palmer, but they're not going to get this offense to where they need to go to score points. They're going to need Evans and Godwin more involved. What do you say?
No, you're 100% correct. No question about it. I mean, again, I just go back to, it's like we had just talked about earlier. I mean, they've had, especially, I tell you what, you just point to that Atlanta and that Houston game, and it's like, this would be a completely different story right now. They'd be 6-4 as opposed to 4-6. And if they were 6-4, honestly, I think they go ahead with the schedule they have. They run away with the division if they were 6-4. I really do.
Yep.
But
all right.
There's nothing you can do. There's nothing you can do. The bottom line is they lost those games, but they still have a chance. They're only a game out right now, and they still have that team on the schedule who they've already beaten. So, like I said, I just think, again, you point to the 31st, and I think that's going to be your season right there.
All right. Good stuff, James. Appreciate the call as always. Anything else?
No, sir. You take care, buddy.
All right, man. Appreciate you. There you go. 2 calls from James Mulvaney, who's talking Bucs, who's a Jets fan. I like that. That's good. He knows his Bucs. He knows the Jets. Open phone line, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Getting on the phone lines. Happy Thanksgiving. What are you having? Tell me what you're having for Thanksgiving tomorrow. What time is it happening for you? I know for me, it's happening about 11:15, 11:30, right before the games. I don't necessarily like doing it during the games. Kind of like doing it before the games. But you usually have like multiple plates. This year, we're going out. We're ordering out. So the one plate is like $17. So you only have enough money to afford the one plate. You got no leftovers because your refrigerator isn't big enough, first and foremost. No family around making it, because if I try to make something like turkey, you can't make that in an air fryer. I guess you could. I mean, I'm not going to go in that kitchen. I was asking people this week on the phone with the other sales job, what are you, an eater or are you a cooker? Do you cook or do you eat? And then the other question out there, what are you most thankful for being a Tampa Bay sports fan, a sports fan in general? 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Let's go ahead and go out to Ben here. In my opinion, Bucs put Trask in. It tells me they're giving up on the season. Yes, we're 4-6, but the NFC South division isn't very good. It's still winnable. Stick with Baker Mayfield. Completely agree with you. RG3 wasn't a bad quarterback. How many have you had, Ray? Said John Mamula. Thank you very much for tuning in, John. Until the injury, then he wasn't the same quarterback. So good comment as always, John. Oh, yeah. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Don't say anything about the host, says Roger. I think he's talking about Anthony. Roger, you guys just need to get along here. This whole war of you going back and forth with each other. I don't know. It's just kind of weird. All right. Tim says we need to just start fast. Keep it up. I mean, that is my biggest problem with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Can you say it again? Let me go back to the comment. In my opinion, of the night, can the Tampa Bay Buccaneers get off to a fast start? You know what kind of show you're going to have. I feel like that. Like, I really feel like if I don't start out fast, if I'm not saying bring your passion, bring your excitement, just don't bring any nonsense, the show for me is flat. You got to get off to a great start. I always talk about it, right? You set the table or I set the table, you come to eat. If I don't set the table right, talking about Thanksgiving, because I've always called the Sports Web a Thanksgiving edition of Sports Talk Television. We give you everything you want. We give you Bucs Talk. We give you an opportunity to text in. We give you an opportunity to call in. We give you sound effects. We give you it all. One on a TV or radio station, we would give you that in streaming. Hell, I give you video. If somebody would want to get on video, I send you a link, you get on video. If you don't set that table, then the show to me is flat. I feel like every Sunday that we watch this Tampa Bay Buccaneer team, they're always flat. Why does it take it to, you're down by 14 points? Why? It's because the defense is playing prevent? Okay, easy. You could say that. Why did it have the urgency? Philadelphia game, upper echelon team. They start, putting it together the fourth quarter. Why? The defense calls for it. Why does it take that long? Why can't this team come out fast and furious? Why can't they come out scoring points? I don't understand it. So to me, great comment as always, Tim. Oh, yeah. Whoa, Peter. I know you're going to say that. That's okay. What about moving White to the edge rusher next year? I mean, Derek, it's definitely, and of course, thanks a lot for texting in as you do your own show there, The Plunder. I watch it. Very good. Good stuff. Definitely have to have you on the evolution of Sports Talk Television. The Bucs community love that. You're exactly right. I mean, I think you could definitely use, because he can't cover. And I don't care what kind of Pro Football Focus grades. I'm all about Pro Football Focus. He can't cover. He's not good in coverage. You saw it on Sunday versus the San Francisco 49ers with Christian McCaffrey coming out of the backfield and Devin Smith by the announcers, which was correct because we haven't seen the real Devin White show up, show out, stand up. Little Eminem reference there. You like that? I know you did. You haven't seen him come out and play to that level of, a 2020, 2021 postseason against the Saints where he's taking over the game, where he's making tackles, where he's flying all over the field, where he's causing turnovers. That's the reason why you draft him 5th overall in the first place, is it not? I wasn't necessarily buying into it when he got drafted in 2019, but it certainly seemed like he was going to fit this Todd Bowles defense. There was always question marks about what he could bring. Raw player, played running back, didn't necessarily have the experience at the linebacking position, fast, but would he get out of position? Eventually, you thought from that postseason on that he was going to improve his game, and yet he hasn't. And you bring up a great point. What is he good at? Getting after the passer. Why not do more of that? I don't know. Why not do more blitzing of that? Because that's what he's good at. I mean, if you're having a problem with getting pressure, and as we always talk about, with the pressure, it's predicated, on helping your back end out. If you get that pressure, why not do it more? I don't understand it. It's a good point. Of course, coming into it, the contract situation, how much are you going to pay him? Not paying him $18 to $20 million. He doesn't deserve it. Tape doesn't show it. He deserves it. He doesn't. He's been disappointing. Jamel Dean's been disappointing. Carlton Davis. Just think about it. You get average defense. Like average defense, you win a couple of those games. And then looking back at it, if your offense is going to score more points than what they've done, which they haven't been able to do consistently, which, my co-host has talked about ad nauseum. It's the run game. So we'll see if they can get cleaned up. But it's a good point. Let's go out to James here. Should we rename St. Petersburg Ray now? Ha. Good stuff, James. Appreciate you, James. Again, Jets just won. Dang it, man. They did. Michael, I think you sent some stars there. Appreciate you. By the way, if you like the content here, Facebook stars are absolutely available, so definitely send those. And YouTube chats if you like the content. Because, I love doing the content. I love doing it, the Monday, Wednesdays, and of course, before games and after games. But it'd be nice to, have a little bit of pay from you guys out there, the webheads. FSU should ban Jameis Winston. Okay, brought bad luck. Michael says, with the Colts loss, we are in bigger trouble than Bowles himself. Absolutely agree. Christopher Cole, Shaq isn't fully healthy, in my opinion. Anthony Logan Paul is the best wrestler. Okay, Michael, see my stats work this week. See my stars work this week. I see you, Harry, in the back. Thank you, Michael. Appreciate you. Punk is coming back at Rumble in January when I'm there. Right, Christopher Cole. D. White needs to drop about 15 to 20 pounds because he seems slow. He doesn't look like he's necessarily in the greatest shape, does he? He doesn't. I thought that was just me. He doesn't. I'm not about to come on here and say, I'm in the greatest shape of my life. But I tell you right now, if I was up for the biggest, and I always go back to this, right? Like you're going for a combine. It's the most important interview of your life. Don't go out and drink. Don't go out and party because the priority is to what? Be a millionaire, be wealthy, and make it to the NFL. The whole talk of the offseason was, listen, I want to earn that second contract. Well, then come in like your hair's on fire. Play like the Devin White we know you can play like. And I don't think he has. And then furthermore, I don't think he's necessarily in shape either. Do you? Buccaneers will start stacking dubs this week. I like it, Rob. Thanks a lot for the comment. Oh, yeah. These guys don't care anymore. They're already satisfied winning the COVID Super Bowl. Michael says all these talented players, Bowles is ruining them. I think Baker is making a great effort to get us wins, but okay, calling is the problem. Also, the defense looks to be scrambling on every play. Davis is playing with turf toe. Devin is playing with a hurt groin, bad foot, and Dean is fragile. Michael says play calling. Michael again. Rob Thompson, right? Dean gets hurt too much. Christopher Cole got to play Watts more than 3 snaps. Agree. Happy Thanksgiving. Let's go. Bucks, fire those cannons. Bowles is a buffoon. Blaine Gabbert also knew the system better than the Brady, so why didn't he start him? Happy Thanksgiving for all of us at Crew Live. Appreciate you. Let me fire those. And again, appreciate you having me out there at Riveters. Great experience if you're a Bucs fan and they're on the road. You want to get out to a watch party. I'm not saying I'm going to be there, but who knows? Maybe the future of that happening, comes to light or comes to pass there at Riveters in Tampa. Thanks for having me out there. Michael says, lastly, happy Thanksgiving, Sports Web family. Thank you, Pete, for what you do. Appreciate you. He's right, Roger Shue. I love you, brother. Brandon says, go Lions. Okay, that's different. And D. White will get 8 to 10 million per a year. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get this man's picks on. My co-host, Mr. Harry the Greek. Here we go. Well, it's not playing. So there you go. You got to love that. So we don't have an intro tonight. Got to love that. Love technology. Sorry, you don't get an intro today. I guess it couple.
You're freezing up, buddy.
Back on that. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on right now. It's crazy. This is completely crazy. All right, you gotta love it. I love Spectrum Wi-Fi. Thanks a lot for me paying over $100 a month and Wi-Fi failing like it has tonight. That's exactly what it's been.
The hell are you worried about $100 and some a month, man? Your middle name is Big Money. We're gonna call you Kilo G.
Yeah,
that's your nickname, Kilo G.
Yeah, okay. Oh, I need to make some money. We need to get some picks, but I definitely want to talk some Bucs football with you. As no wrestling talk tonight, no turnbuckle talk. We gave the guys the night off. Happy Thanksgiving to them. We talked about the 49ers. You continue to say the running game. I thought this was really interesting.
I've said something about the running game. I never talk about the running game.
About the running game all the time. And this was from Joe Bucs fan from Skip Pete on the Buccaneer Radio Network. He was talking about Rashad White, and he says to improve his game, violence. White needs to get nasty. Well, I'll tell you what, your favorite guy here, your Greek guy, wants to interrupt, like always. Roger Shue, the tribal troll, go ahead.
All right, using my second call, I just wanted to call and say Greekites unite. And Harry, happy Thanksgiving to you and your family. I hope you have a blessed day.
Happy Thanksgiving. You know what? And thank you, my fellow Greekites. I mean, make sure you do make that phone call, gentlemen. It's 727-255-0391. Get the Greekites in power. Roger, seriously, man, happy Thanksgiving to you and your family. As Peter is shaking his head.
The Greekites in power, like you guys are going to take over the show or something. You guys
in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Trask.
Well, we could take over the show, technically, Peter, because you forgot I have horsepower here too.
Oh, you could do whatever you want to at the end of the day, but you know the show is going to go when I want the show to go. What else?
That's it. Just happy Thanksgiving, guys. Great show as always, and be blessed.
All right.
Happy Thanksgiving, man. Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
All right. So I want to read this comment here from Skip Pete again in care of Joe Bucs fan because I thought it was interesting they brought this up. He says, I'll sit here and I'll tell White, listen, think about it. You as a runner, every time you carry it, what are they trying to do? They're trying to tackle you. No. They're trying to kill you. Goodness gracious, I cannot get this out. So I'll tell you what, let's go out to the phone lines. Welcome to the Evolution. What's your name? Where you calling from? You're on with yours truly, along with the Greek Harry, the Greek hair. What's up?
Hey, Peter, it's Jeremy. How you doing?
What's going on, Jeremy? How you doing? What's your thoughts on the Bucs game versus the 49ers, the Bucs upcoming game versus the Colts, and, of course, what are you most thankful for being a Tampa Bay sports fan?
Well, first and foremost, I mean, I'm proud of the effort that they did show against the Niners. I think they definitely showed up and put up a better fight than they did. I just wish they could have capitalized on those couple of chances in the red zone.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is. Now moving on. As far as Colts go, it's going to be interesting to see what the injuries are going to happen. But I am excited for some of the young bucks to get in there, like Savasi Dennis, get to step in for Levante, or Delaney going back to corner. You know, he did pretty well at corner when he played.
Sure.
And then hopefully the offense, you know, can pick up where they left off the last couple of weeks and get the ball moving, get in the end zone and score and get a lead.
Jeremy, what's the more contributing factor this 4-6 start? Is it the offense or the defense? Why or why not?
At first, I said the defense carried because the offense was still learning under Dave Canales, but now it's looking like the offense is kind of stepping up and putting points on the board, you know, to give us the best chance to win. And I think the next 2 weeks, that's what's going to help us, you know, get a couple of victories, you know, on the road in Indy and then back home against Carolina. very winnable games. And I think Yaya should be in more. I think he should play the players that have been stepping up, that belong out there. No disrespect to JTS, no disrespect to some of these other guys playing, but you need to play the best player, and Yaya's it. They need to get him out there more, give him more snaps.
So you think it's more the defense for the struggles of this Bucs team? I ask you, Harry, what do you think's more of a Jeremy? Hold the line here because I want to ask you some other things here, and then we'll get back to you. But Harry, let me ask you, what's the more contributing factors to this 4-6 start? It's easy to say both sides of the ball, but what is more? Is it the defense or is it the offense to you?
I don't know, Pete. I got to be really honest with you. I don't know, but if you put me in a corner, I'd have to say the offense, believe it or not, because they've actually kept them in games. But then again, the offense has absolutely shot themselves in the foot too. So I can also make a case for the defense. Okay. I mean, I've been standing on a soapbox since preseason saying this team will go as far as this running game is going to take them. And so far, it ain't taking them far because they ain't running the football.
Nope, they're definitely not running the football. So what are you most thankful for, Jeremy, being a Tampa Bay sports fan or a sports fan in general?
I mean, I'm thankful for the city I live in. You know, it's a great city. It's a great city. You know, I love living here, and I love my Bucs for a long time. The Lightning, the Rays. You know, it's a hate-love relationship with them.
Sure.
At the end of the day, you know, I love my city. I love my team sports. I'm thankful for where I'm at right now with that. And, you know, we'll see what happens. You know, Lightning, you know, are off to a decent start. We'll see how that goes. But as far as the Bucs, you know, I'm a believer, and I feel like, you know, we can make a little run here and get some wins.
Yeah, the schedule is definitely favorable for it. It starts on Sunday versus the Indianapolis Colts. Anything else, Jeremy?
I mean, you know, I'm excited for Turkey Day tomorrow.
Yeah. All right. What are you having for Turkey Day besides turkey? Well, what's your specialty? When are you starting this off? How many plates are you getting?
Oh, but knowing me, probably 3 plates. Like I said,
3 plates? That's it?
Well, you know, that's the starter, and then probably later on when I get hungry after, you know, kind of, you know, mixing, you know, a little bit of adult beverage and everything, balance it out, and that kind of stuff. But I'm more of a holiday ham guy. I like the baked mac and cheese, you know, a little old school there.
Okay.
You know, I'm pretty much into that. Turkey, you know, baked turkey's not really my favorite, but, you know, I'll eat it. I'm more of a smoked, you know, deep fried turkey guy. But I haven't had enough practice for that yet.
All right. Good stuff, man. Appreciate the call as always.
Oh, yeah.
Use that second call if you like to, okay? Always welcome here on the Evolution.
No, appreciate it, Peter. Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Happy Thanksgiving to you too, my friend, the Greek.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not a problem, man. Thanks for the call.
Absolutely. I know Cole Call left a message. Cole, call back if you want to. Open phone line 727-255-0391 at 727-255-0391. I want to read these comments, finish up, and then we'll get out to Cole or whoever else is going to call. I sit here and tell White, and this again is Skip Pete in care of Joe Bucs fan. Listen, think about it. You as a runner, every time you carry it, what are they trying to do? They're trying to tackle you. No. They're trying to kill you. I say you got to play the game with violence. And when you run, you have to run with violence. And when you pass protect, you have to pass protect with violence. So we got to play with a little bit more nastiness in mind. Pete goes on also on to say, I think once he totally understands playing violently and utilizes that with the skill set that he has, he'll become a very, very talented running back in this league. Now, this is interesting in itself. Of course, he ranks White ranks 40th in yards per carry among full-time ball carries, 80 rushes or more. And there's also a statistic out there from Joe Bucs fan that 15.8% of the time he's faced an 8-man box. So basically, teams are not loading up to stop the run. So your thoughts on these comments from Skip Pete? Is this an indictment not only on White as a runner, but maybe this is kind of taking us behind the curtain? This is the reason why the running game is struggling so much, because White is not just hitting the hole, being violent like his coach says.
No.
Okay.
I'm just being right up front. Yeah, I don't think it's that much of an indictment, but I don't really agree with him either. So I guess you could say it was an indictment.
All right, I'll tell you what.
I just don't listen, man. That opinion, I really don't have much of an opinion about. They just need to just commit to the run a little bit better because he's shown flashes that he could be a premier running back in this league.
All right, let's go out to Cole here. CSB brother, welcome to the Evolution. You're on with yours truly, along with Harry, the Greek professional handicapper extraordinaire.
Hey guys, what's going on?
What's going on, buddy?
Listen, no, I think we got 7 games left.
Mm-hmm.
I think we can win legitimately 6 of them.
Really? Go down the list. Tell me which ones.
Well, I'll tell you right now. Let's go ahead and get the schedule.
Jacksonville's the only game I think we're definitely going to lose.
Okay. Let's go down the list here. You got the Colts, of course, this Sunday on the road.
Mm-hmm.
You got the Panthers coming home. Again, that game was flexed to 4:05. Somebody has to figure out why that was done that way.
Because that's 1-1.
Okay. You've got the Buccaneers at the Falcons.
2-0.
No, hold on. Let me go through. It's 1-1.
Okay, it's 1-1. Okay, 1-1. All right, there you go.
That's a possibility. Let's go to the third game.
Okay, you got the Bucs versus the Falcons on the road in Atlanta. That's
a toss-up game. That could be 1-2 or 3-0.
Okay, you got the Bucs versus the Packers on the road.
Again, that could be 1-4 or 4-0.
Okay, you got the Jaguars versus the Bucs on Christmas Eve here at Raymond James.
That, believe it or not, can go either way because they match up very, very well. I'm not as concerned about the Jacksonville game. Go ahead.
I'm more concerned about that Jacksonville game
Yeah,
than any game
me
on
too.
this. The Saints versus the Bucs on New Year's Eve.
That's a loss.
Okay. And you got the Buccaneers versus the Panthers on the road to finish out.
They could still make the playoffs. You're absolutely right, Cole.
I think if they're gonna go 6-1, that's my belief.
Wow.
Now, if things go crappy, if things go south, they could lose against Indianapolis and against Green Bay. But I think all of those division games are wins, every single one of them.
Okay,
every single one of them.
And I definitely
I think they're losing against Atlanta, and I think they're going to get their doors beat in by the New Orleans Saints this time.
Not as long.
They just don't match up well with this team. Now, 3 months ago, I would have told you something totally just the opposite. But Green Bay, they should be able to handle with absolutely no problem whatsoever. But if you're correct, and they do go 6-1, they'll be the hottest team entering the playoffs. And I just don't see that happening because this team is so inconsistent for one reason, because they don't run the God-blessed football. That's the only reason why. And their defense, it looks like Swiss cheese right now. I'd love to say something different. I really would. Nothing would make me happier. But I got to tell you, handicapping sports, betting on football for 37 years, I'm not liking what I'm seeing. But you know what? You can only win one game at a time. Every game that's on your schedule, you can get a little better. You can get a little better. You can get a little better. The last caller that called up, no pun intended, I love the showing against the 49ers. It's still a loss. You can't say you love the showing and get your doors blown off. It's like kissing your sister, for God's sakes. I mean, it almost counts in 2 things. Actually, 3. You know what it is, Cole? Horseshoes, hand grenades, and shit fights. All 3 of them are almost. But
well, and here's the thing. I didn't get a chance to ask you this, but that line was 13.5, and the game ended with a 13-point loss.
Yeah, it was one of my picks of the week, and it's still
was the right move to make.
Well, it was. I did take the Bucs in that game. I'm sorry, I didn't give anybody the picks for that week, but Tampa was one of my picks for the points. We scum by the skin of our teeth. The game should have been closer, but then again, what does almost mean? Horseshoes, hand grenades, and poo-poo fights.
Right. I mean, you can't go in the red zone and go
But they did cover.
Right. You can't.
Yeah, but I think one of the main problems with this team is not necessarily the lack of running. It's the lack of called runs. They don't run the ball enough. They don't have enough attempts to make to make a difference in this game. And then they get freaked. And then this first-year play caller gets all crazy and thinks, okay, we got to throw everything, every down. And that's for a guy that, if he's not a first-year play caller, he doesn't do that. I don't think. You don't have.
You know what? I want you to repeat exactly what you said from the beginning. It's not the type of play calls. It's what? The amount of play calls for running the football.
That is skewed.
But that is what you get with an offensive coordinator, gentlemen, when he's the 140th interview that you're going to get
and that's exactly what happens.
40th
Listen,
interview. Stop it.
I am not high on Canales as I was in the beginning part of this year because I honestly thought they were bringing Buck ball back to Tampa, and that was to play defense and to run the football,
But
and
you
he
can't
has done
play
none of that.
defense when you're getting down 20-7. You have to abandon the running game. That's what it comes down to, especially.
No, you don't.
Pete.
No, you don't.
Completely, Pete. Not
Well,
completely.
this
No.
team
No,
does.
Pete. You're going to abandon the run game because you're down 20-7 in the second quarter, Pete. Really sit back and think about that, Pete.
The third quarter, because they were up, they were down 13-7, and then their offense went 3 and out.
It's a 2-possession game, Pete. It almost looked like I was giving you the finger. Look at that.
It did look like you were giving me.
It's actually not. I'm giving you the peace sign. It's
Right.
a 2-possession game. You don't abandon the run game.
Well,
The
they get-
bottom line is you have a very intelligent caller on the phone when he turned around and said they just don't call enough run plays. And you're right. It's the offensive coordinator. Thank you, Lord, that someone's finally called here and actually speaks some common sense.
Well, I think everybody speaks common, but he's good caller. It's definitely, I think it's about running the ball, but again, I think it's also about success at the line of scrimmage. And when your interior line isn't getting, that penetration that you need, and they're not opening up those holes consistently, and you're only getting 1-2 yards at a time, or you're losing yards, it's going to change your offensive playbook. That's just how it is.
If you repeated what you said and half the listeners out there were to close their minds,
just
don't close their eyes,
Well,
it
but
would have been perfect.
Don't go there.
It also goes. It also goes to drafting a right tackle and making him a right guard, and drafting a tackle and making him a center. And no, go after the best collegiate center in the game and put him down there at center. It worked for Kansas City. Why wouldn't it work for the Bucs?
I mean, it's a good point. It's one of those.
And they're doing it with the human turnstile himself.
Oh, he sucks. Okay, he's no business.
I love this. Hey, Cole, hurry up and look at your computer. Just look at his face. All you got to do is mention Donovan Smith, and Peter goes into a coronary.
Well, I'll tell you right now, they were doing it.
Who's worse, Kenyatta Walker or Donovan Smith?
Oh, Kenyatta Walker. I would love to have Donovan Smith right now. At least he can anchor down the right side.
Sure, you would. With all the critical penalties. Wait a minute. With all
at least the man knew how to run block.
Tackle. He's a great left tackle when he's not hugging the opponent.
Yeah, exactly. Bullshit. I'd rather have Tristan on the left side. He's the best left tackle in the game, injury or not. And Luke Haggerty has not done a bad job when it comes
he's
to pass
perfect.
protecting.
Yeah, because he's so good at run blocking.
He's better than Donovan Smith.
Oh my God, look at him. He's getting
but Luke Haggerty's playing in the proper position for the first time in his career.
Tell him. But Peter does look cute when his eyeballs get expanded.
Who is in the proper position? He's getting away with murder. He's like OJ in Kansas City. He's getting away with murder with all the holding calls. And I'm going to tell you right now.
You're just sour that Donovan Smith is doing well.
No, I've seen enough. I've seen enough of the bad technique. How many years you got to see a guy hold? How many years you got to see a guy basically bear hug a defensive end or defensive tackle?
That's exactly what I'm saying. He never held. He always hugged. It was all about love.
There's a difference, see, Pete. There's a love in the game.
Right, he's Care Bear.
And he loves you just like you love him, Mike.
Yes. And Bucs fans loved it when he was out the door into Kansas City because he didn't have to have any more freaking penalties on critical plays like he had last year. What else?
I'm gonna start calling you I'm gonna start calling you 50. You know why I'm gonna call you 50? Because you're doing this.
Whatever.
I'm sorry. Calling you 50.
I would just like them to draft a center that actually played center in college. I'd like them to draft a guard who actually played guard in college. Go after people that played the position. I'm still bugged. Honestly, this is going to be unpopular and I'm going to leave like this. I'm going to drop a bomb. But I would have rather had Jonathan Taylor, and I was screaming for him, than the safety that they picked up in the second round that year. And everybody loves him, and everybody's great. Wingfield Jr., he's the greatest thing since sliced bread, hasn't picked off a ball.
Oh, no. Here comes number 50 now again.
Oh, no.
I would rather have had Jonathan Taylor.
You shut up, Harry,
Here comes number 50 from the Bears coming out here giving you the eyes, bro. I wish you could see this.
I'm going to tell you right now, Antoine Winfield Jr. was a great pick in the second round. He's
Absolutely.
an unbelievable safety. I get it. You want Jonathan Taylor.
Who wouldn't? They should be running the football.
At the time
they picked the wrong who was it they picked in the first round 2 years ago, the not the Jets running back but the other guy, the defensive tackle out of Wisconsin, I think it was.
For who?
JJ Watt.
No. The Bucs picked up a defensive tackle instead of picking the Jets running back.
They picked Kalija Kancey this year? Is that who you're talking about?
Not this year, the year before.
The kid from Pittsburgh.
Joe Tryon Shayinka.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, just a great pick. That's Peter's favorite player. You should have seen Pete when they drafted him. He was standing at the mountaintops going, we have another Jason Pierre-Paul.
Yeah.
Oh, my God, we got another Shaq Barrett. This is going to be the best thing since sliced bread.
You're so full of nonsense at this point. You really need
it's the day before Christmas. Before Thanksgiving. All I know is one thing. I wish we had Ray Kennedy in here because we are.
Of course you do.
We are going to toast your ass so bad. It's not even funny.
Toast this. Toast that. How about
Happy Thanksgiving, guys.
Right
I'm
there.
out,
How about
man. That's my cue. I'm out of here.
Right.
Happy Thanksgiving, guys.
Appreciate your call. All right, let me bring him back here. Did you like that?
And this is coming from the clown.
Oh, wait, there you go. How about that for a clown, huh? How's that? There you go.
And he puts ketchup on his hot dogs.
First of all, ketchup on hot dogs is a normal thing. Ketchup
No, it's not.
What's not normal is mayonnaise and freaking coffee, okay? And Will Levis had it going. All right, had it coming.
Bro, here.
What?
You ready?
What?
Did you say Donovan Smith was a good player?
I'm
He looks like
you
you look like Mike number 50 from the Chicago Bears going, I likes them kind of parties.
That's called my game face here on the Evolution of Sports Talk.
Oh my God.
Phone line 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391.
You're too cute, Pete.
Whatever, dude.
I
can't win them all. I don't know who that is, but thank you very much for tuning in as always. Hey, what's your opinion on Brady's comments on the NFL this past week? Do you think this is shadowing the Bucs' performance? I don't know if you heard Brady's comments this week. Mediocrity. The game isn't as physical as before. He said this before. The game, the coaching isn't there.
He didn't lie.
Development, I don't think he's lying either. And then on top of it, they're trying to take out the hip tackle, which they're looking at now because there have been some crucial injuries. What's next?
It's not the defensive player to keep the offensive player healthy.
Right. Okay. I don't know what you're looking at, but I guess Tampa Bay Ray Kennedy's ready to carry. Oh, God, this freaking guy again.
Hi, honey.
All right. All right. So can we stay on track here, guys? Happy Thanksgiving, by the way. You guys are off track. You're getting me
happy Thanksgiving, PD.
Playoffs. Happy Thanksgiving to you guys. Also, the question is out there. If you're a sports fan, a Tampa Bay sports fan, what are you most thankful for? And of course, as always, this is a sports fan. What are you most thankful for? 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Let's get back to the Brady comments here. So what do you think about it, Harry? Those comments, and then I'll come out to you, Ray.
Sorry.
Go to Ray first.
Sorry, fellas.
Okay. All right. So you got Ruth. I assume that was what we heard in the background. So what do you think about Brady's comments?
Okay, so I'm like trying to figure out. I figure he's starting to step into that role where it's like, hey, remember, I'm the $37.5 million a year Fox guy that they're gonna push Greg. Greg Olsen out of the booth for. So I'm like, from that standpoint, I'm listening to what he's saying. I'm like, he's not lying. I think we all kind of agree. But then when I'm watching, I'm also thinking to myself, if I had to choose right now, okay, whatever we don't know yet how Brady's going to be in the box or Greg Olsen and what he's been doing, locking it down as the lead team for Fox the last couple of years. I'm still on I want Greg Olsen bandwagon, and not that I don't love Tom, but it's just like, hey, you got enough stuff, all right? I know you love the game and San Mateo and this and that, and you got your brand. But, at the end of the day, he better bring it large next year when they just step him into that number one booth, because if he doesn't come in and smack it out of the ballpark, that's going to be a huge fail.
Is the game mediocre? Is the game more mediocre than it's ever been? Is there not enough training of quarterbacks? Is there not enough coaching? Is there too much finesse in the game and not enough physicality, Tampa Bay Ray?
No, because take it from someone who's ninth grade, 15-year-old son who got moved up to varsity this year because he's actually shown that, like the old man, he's got some ball skill. At the end of the day, I've never seen one chronic traumatic encephalopathy report. I've never seen one thing about this that I've said, oh, they're full of crap on that. The fact of the matter is, damage and hits to the cerebral bottom of your brain where the spine meets, concussions over time. We've seen it over and over and over again. So from that standpoint, the NFL, not so much from a lawsuit standpoint, but the violent game that it is, you've got to figure out a way to keep this game jiggy like it, because now you've got legalized gambling and all that involved. But yet at the same time, make these players stay playing check.
Say jiggy again.
Getting jiggy with it. What I'm saying is that we've got to continue to get these players to learn to tackle proper, to face up, to keep it even, to not have defenseless receivers, to not have quarterbacks, to not have concussions are always going to happen. I mean, it happens in soccer when they head the ball. So from that standpoint, is the game mediocre? Are you kidding me? Am I under the age of 30 years old? Because I go back to the 70s when we didn't even have a crawler and we didn't have a score bug, and we were just watching the guys and I'm looking at this game today and these dogs, the way these guys play, the DBs, the receivers, the way they play this up-tempo offense. Is it mediocre? I mean, Tom Brady, that's when you sound like get off the lawn guy to me. And I'm like, I agree with some of the things you're saying, but I also think I'm still seeing a great product.
These this up-tempo games and these really super fast 2-minute drills, that shit would have came right to an end when I can just name a couple of people. Let's start with Doug Plank, Steve Atwater, Ronnie Lott, Gary Fensick, John Lynch. Let me tell you something. Just use those guys as 5 DBs.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be back in the day called the fastest 2 minutes in football. It would be
jacked up.
Can you do me a favor? Could you please run the football, because this shit's about to get real, man? Listen, I really worry about the chronic and the whatever it's
CTE,
called. Okay, the CTE. But let's be honest, guys. There's nothing more exciting when you're sitting there watching the game. And I know this is going to be a very unpopular opinion that I'm about to say, but man, when some guy got his ass just lit up, I mean, there is nothing like it. You're like, wow, tell me, Tampa fans, you didn't okay, when my personal friend, Mr. Mike Allstott, would run right up the middle, particularly in a Rams game, and took on a linebacker and knocked him backwards and cleated his ass and then proceeded to run over the safety.
Well, Harry,
tell me that didn't make you excited. Now, in today's game, hold on, let me grab his shoulder pads and try to pull him down. Get the hell out of here.
Well,
man.
They're trying to ban that. The reaction on the
I know. Just put flags on them. Take the helmets off. And put flags on the guy.
How do you defend that? How do you call that? Don't you take the physicality out of the game? And to me, here's the thing.
Football's a violent sport, guys.
It goes to intent.
Listen, no, it's not about intent. It's about playing the game of football. You're supposed to tackle somebody. We just heard from this coach, Skip Pete. He said they're trying to kill you. That's what it comes down to.
But Pete,
furthermore, let me get this out.
Yeah, please. I'm sorry.
Yes, no, absolutely. You had to expect that there were going to be more knee injuries and leg injuries, because if they're making it a safety of, well, you don't need helmets that hits to the head and no CTE and stuff like that, well, then players are going to start going for the knees and the legs. And if you ask any player out there what they would rather have,
hit me in the head, not my knees. I know that. I heard that all the time.
Exactly. So, but what did you expect? Now you're going to.
It's a violent sport, guys.
I don't know where the game goes at that point, and the physicality has been taken out of the game. It's almost like you're one-sided, you're one-dimensional, and the game is suffering. I think the game is suffering. I'm still going to watch, but I don't think the product is as good as it used to be. I think.
It's not even close. Bro.
I think Tom Brady's completely correct.
It's not even close to what it was. Look, man, you're seeing all these yards in the air. Okay. I mean, let's be real. There's an Ohio State quarterback out there that threw for 470 yards 2 weeks ago. and
Mhm.
he has a chance to be the MVP. Do you really want to put him in the same conversation as a Dan friggin' Marino? Really? Let's talk about arguably the best rookie quarterback ever to play the football game, and we're going to put this guy in the same conversation? Really?
Well,
Come on, man.
I think it's certainly possible.
Mark Duper and Clayton were
Duper,
getting
super
their ass.
duper.
They
The
were
Marx
getting their
brothers.
ass. Those boys were getting their ass handed to them 10, 15 yards off the line of scrimmage. Pete, you can't even breathe on a wide receiver nowadays, and then he's open by 5 yards. So
Yep.
please, Ray, you've hit it correctly. The game is not even as close, as talented as it was before. They may be bigger, faster, and stronger, but they sure as hell don't play like it.
Well, guys, take it from again. And I'll finish with this, Pete. I can be long-winded. My 15-year-old son is rocking it, and I'm 100% behind this kid. But then I'd be behind him if he came home tomorrow and told me he wanted to play the piccolo in the marching band. It doesn't matter. It's all about supporting our kids.
Flute?
But my wife is like, let's not be stupid.
I thought you
here.
drew the line at the flute.
I mean, we have to bring up the flute because Andre 3000, who could be one of the greatest rappers of all time, just came out with
What a
flute
violin
album.
Ray. You okay with that?
After 17 years, Andre 3000, one of the greatest rappers of all time, from the great
Milli Vanilli.
Outkast. Shut up, be quiet.
Hey, don't knock on Millie, man, or Vanilli.
Okay, I got your Milli Vanilli right here. He came out with a flute album 17 years. I'm like,
Girl, you know it's true.
It's such a failure at this point.
Ooh,
Ooh, ooh, we love you.
Goodbye. How about that? I love you too. Good night. All right. Now let's go ahead and go back to it. Now back on to what I was saying.
Okay.
Off with your head. Yes, that's right. Thank you.
Hang on, Pete. Ray?
We can
Pass.
be silent if you want.
Tote, pass.
No. Ray, 5 Hail Marys, and let's just behave ourselves.
Okay, you got it. Sorry, Peter.
Sorry,
Sorry,
Pete.
sorry, Father.
Look, can we kiss the ring, Pete?
Oh, better be the ring.
How about that?
Hang on, I gotta
Hey,
finish
let me-
my duties. Hold on.
Let me finish my point, though. Let
Oh,
me
my
say.
God, I despise you. Go ahead,
Let
Ray.
me let me just say, my wife, she's like, you know what? This is the sport. This is what ball is, and of course, we love it for exactly what it is. It's vicious, it's malicious, it's great planning, it's the point of attack, it's matriculating up and down the field, and we love it for everything it is. But we're not silly to think that concussions haven't happened. And we had to talk with Tristan. Did you feel it this year? Did you have a tingling sensation? But my point is, even though a hip check or a Vontaze Burfict or a John Lynch or a Ronnie Lott, and of course, Mike Allstott would have been flagged 15 yards on each and every one of his runs today. But the point is that like life, like everything else in life, it has to continue to evolve. And I think that football has to evolve. You're always going to have those bad hits. I just don't want to see refs throwing flags because, the guy caught a concussion. It goes to intent. If you're going to use review on these plays, show me the player intended to hip check him down, and that guy ended up falling and could have had a concussion. Show me that he intended to go high or low. Show me intent. And then I'll say, you know what, 100%. You're going to use video replay. Use it to show me intent. And then you can start making this game a little bit safer.
It's football.
Well, then, you know what? Let's take the human.
Never ever going to be safe. It is football.
Then let's take the human element out of it, Pete.
Ah.
Let's make the game 5 hours long and replay every. Hang on. We think there was a holding on that play. Hold on. Yep. Throw the tissue paper.
But Harry, does that mean we can play?
What's amazing to me, guys, is that we watch college football every Saturday, and they have it right. It doesn't take them 3 or 4 hours to decide about a call. They review it. If it's right, it's right. Most times or not, it's usually right, or it's wrong.
Yeah.
They get the call right, and then they move on. The NFL,
Well, let me ask you.
a big drama and all this, but the whole thing of making the game safer. The game is never going to be safe. It's football. That's how
It's
it
football. Yeah, intent.
Billions of dollars. So, eliminating this, eliminating that, eventually you just take, the whole grand essence of the game away. And I'm an old school guy, and I like the physicality of it. And I think it's taken the physicality of it. I grew up on Ronnie Lott. I grew up on John Lynch knocking his brother-in-law out. And I get it. There's lawsuits.
John Allred. Yes.
CTE.
Not already. You had to bring it up, right, man? You got to pick on the poor Chicago guy.
Of course. And he laid him out, and that was football. And now I don't know if John Lynch can make it in this game. People go, well, he could adjust. How do you adjust?
Well, Pete.
Hot
Peter,
life.
why do
Harry,
people, hold on, how
me
come
ask
people
you.
always have to compare teams from yesterday and the players from yesterday couldn't make it in today's game? The question should be, can the players from today's game play in yesterday's game?
No.
And that is a definite no. That's
I
just
think
like
Harry,
basketball.
but let me ask you.
LeBum and company, can they play back then? Come on, man. Give
Harry,
me a break.
you mentioned about taking a human element out of the game and it being 5 hours long.
Why, they're doing it in baseball.
But let me ask you though, Harry, the Greek, and I'm setting you up with a game question about gambling. At what point in a 4-quarter football game do they stop taking those side bets or in-game real-time betting? At what point do they? Is it before the fourth quarter? Is it when the fourth quarter starts, or is it right up to the end of the game?
They'll take it up to the end of the game depending on the score. Now, I've seen them take it up with the last 2 minutes of the game as long as the game's really tight. If it's not tight, and they want to put a line out there, it'll be like if Tampa was winning 30-3 and there's 5 minutes to go. If you wanted to put $5 on Tampa to win $5, it costs you $10,000 to wager it.
Well, Harry, what you're telling me though is that if a game's 5 hours long because we're taking a human element out of it, as long as
they make
Vegas
more money.
Boom. That's all about the vig, isn't it?
Yeah, it's all up that. That's right, Ray. Show us.
Did I use that right?
Okay. All right. Tell you what, let's
There's the
go
thing.
out to some of these comments here from the web heads. Let's go out to Cole again. Yeah, the Greek guys. Yes. Cole says, "Happy Thanksgiving, guys." Russ says, "Sign Daryl Henderson, maybe an idea." I don't know if they're going to go in that direction. Russ, play call.
Why not Leonard this week, though, Pete? I mean, we're playing that team this weekend. Is it because he's such a locker room headache and a linebacker happens to be a position of Buccaneers with Levante and all that? And I'm like, Leonard, crazy. And we're only, 4 and 6? Aren't we pretty up high in the pecking order on waiver wire?
No, it's money. It's $6.5 million. I don't think anybody's going to take on that. And then furthermore, Leonard is as good as he was some years ago. The injuries have, definitely caught up with him when it comes
to many hip check tackles.
This team, let me clarify something.
Yeah.
Let's stop with the la la land and the dreaming. This team is spending $0 at 4 and 6.
Yeah, they're not spending any money on it. And as much as a lot of people would like to see that team do that again, they're not in the Super Bowl chase.
Now, 6 and 4,
right?
They're spending a few dollars. 4 and 6.
I think a couple years ago, you would definitely go pick up Leonard if you had the money, but you don't have the money. You're paying all the credit card bills. And then on top of it, he's not the same player. Now, is he an improvement over what you have at this point?
Or you're going back to Devin White now, aren't you?
Well, no Levante David. Devin White has definitely underachieved. I mean, what do you got there in Savasi Dennis besides a player you drafted? You don't really know that much about KJ Wright. I think it's an improvement.
He's not as good, Pete. In the words of Peter Blake, if he's not as good, he's not on the field. Kyle Trask is not as good as Baker Mayfield, so he's not on the field.
Don't start me up.
Leonard first. I think Leonard is could be a lot better than Devin White. And if he's going to replace Levante David because David is out with an injury, he would definitely improve what you have there. But again, they're not in that place. Okay, so good stuff there. Mr. Williams says, go Tampa Bay. Absolutely. Ralph says, happy Thanksgiving to you. Peter, Harry. Okay, Sammy Camacho says Tom Banner.
I get that. Sammy Camacho, for all the people that are out there wondering who Sammy Camacho is, he is the best horse jockey at Tampa Bay Downs, and my boy Tom Banner. Of course, listen to the Greek's wife, because the Greek gave the wife who's the best jockey, by the way, Banner, just to let you know, throwing that out there, and he won himself a little bit of money. Hey, can I bring up another quote from Tom here, if you don't mind?
Sure, go for it.
It's right here at the bottom. Tom says, Harold, you're not saying today's player couldn't play in yesterday's game. Wow. Quick example. Could Ray Lewis play in the 80s? Answer is yes. Look at the average weight of a lineman. It's a joke comparing today's talent to yesterday's talent. Tom, you are absolutely correct. Kinda. Ray Lewis is a yesterday's player.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That Ray Lewis is a yesterday's player. You understand, when he came into the league, it was in the 90s. This game really hasn't started evolving and changing until like 2012. It really started getting really bad. But nice try, Tom. And again, that's coming from a guy that does not put ketchup on his hot dogs there, Pete.
Whatever. I put ketchup and hot dog on my hot dog.
Don't advertise it, Pete. Seriously.
I do. I'm sorry. I'm a Floridian. I'm not from.
Do you get
Lord,
those-
please
do you get
forgive
those-
him. He lives
do you
in
get
no
those-
place really.
Do you get those 11 pills individually wrapped for 87 cents a piece?
Gruber, best tackle Bucs ever had so far. I think Tristan Wirfs could definitely take that.
Paul
that-
Gruber, God.
Yeah, ketchup on a hot dog, Peter. They can call hold on 99% of the offensive plays. Russ again. Bucs need a new head coach and general manager. Bucs are there yet, but they maybe not even Eberflus puts ketchup on his hot dog. Cole, at least he doesn't put mayo in his coffee. Exactly, Cole. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
It's okay, Peter. Ketchup goes great on a hot dog. What is wrong with ketchup on a hot dog? It is good.
That's what she said.
Listen, we can't.
Shut up and be quiet.
Listen, we can't explain that, Pete.
Shut up.
Pete,
Yeah.
we can't go down that rabbit hole, okay? Lord, just forgive Pete.
I
for
don't
he not knows what he does with ketchup.
Google it or something. Let's see here.
Ketchup on burgers.
I put ketchup on my hot dog,
fries.
though, Harry. I don't know.
Okay, so what is the proper thing? Oh, wise one. Oh, Greek, that you're supposed to put on a hot dog. Go.
Well, at least
Orzo.
you've got part. Hold on. At least you got part of this right when you said, "Oh, wise." A hot dog. Hey, listen,
Baklava.
Malaka. Baklava. Okay,
Right.
Malaka, listen to me, okay?
This guy sucks.
A real hot dog, and I'll take you to Portillo's. It's not Portillo's.
Ooh,
or Liz.
that's a good hot dog.
Portillo's.
Oh, that's a good hot dog.
Portillo's, okay?
Portillo's.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, Portillo's. It's the new Mexican restaurant, Portillo's. Anyway, they also have a gang of birds down there called the Pelicanos, okay? But anyway, don't spit that beer out. A real Chicago
almost
hot
did.
dog. Listen, when you order a Chicago hot dog like I do, I say, give me a Chicago hot dog all the way, hold the sport. You know, if anybody out there knows what that means other than Tom Banner, if anybody out there knows what that means other than Tom Banner, give me a Chicago hot dog all the way, hold the sport. Then you'll understand. But just, don't agree with me. Just agree with the other millions of people, Mr. Minority, with ketchup on his hot dog.
Ketchup
Ask
and
them.
spicy mustard on my hot dog.
Oh, yeah. Spicy mustard. Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on.
And crunch up chips.
But you know what?
Crunched
You
up.
are absolutely correct. For a typical no place really Floridian guy, okay, that lives up there in it's a place called Pasco County where half the people they got 3 teeth. You get 24 people, you get a full set up there. Okay,
24
come on, man.
Tonight's
I'm
show's
only
brought
kidding.
to you by the Newport Richie Tourism Agency.
Talking about dentists and teeth. Go see my friend Dr. Chris Wujik over at Boulevard Dental here in Seminole.
He paying us?
There you go.
He's paying
There
me,
you
buddy.
go.
That's all that matters.
Me?
He's taking care of the Greek. That's fine.
Nice.
Well,
There's
thank you
something
very
you're thinking.
much for that. Great. Go see the dentist. All right. Jamie is the best handicapper in the Creek's house, FYI.
Let me reread that again. Honey, come here. I got to show you something. There was a comment about you in here.
Uh-oh. Don't piss off Miss Jamie. I'll tell you that right now.
Jamie is the best handicapper in the Greek's household, FYI.
It's
You hear
true.
it in the background. There you go.
It's true.
Right there. There's the laughter right there.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go on to the
Hey,
ketchup.
Banner. Just understand, Banner. At least the WAP and the Greek have seen you do the jig in the middle of the street.
Ooh.
All right. Not even Biden puts ketchup on his hot dog. All right. So let's not get political now. Jack Tatum ring a bell. Harold Michael says,
Ooh.
Ray, they're making millions for the risk to get hurt. High schoolers make it as safe as
Yes.
possible, but you're playing professional football. You know the risk. You accept it. Good comment there by Michael. No way coaching gets close to the talent of the past. The wussification of football is not good for the game and it isn't making it safer. Agree?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
One is way better now. Dick Butkus couldn't play in today's game.
You're
Oh my
right.
God.
Dick Butkus, let me tell
be
you
thrown
something.
out.
If they allowed yesterday's game in today's game,
Oh.
Butkus could play in this game. There
Oh.
wouldn't be 500 yards passing from an
Hey.
Ohio State quarterback.
If they allowed yesterday's game, today's game, there wouldn't even be a debate about LeBron being anywhere near as close as to Michael Jordan.
Oh,
I don't know what you
we
said.
both know that.
God. Okay. All right. Said. All right. Let's see here. Christopher Cole says, I watched the 2002 Buccaneer playoffs. That was great football. Ron,
Yes, it was.
we saw the offense as the issue that stood out more, but now it's also the defense. It's a coaching void. Ron says, Goodwin
comment.
Just as well.
Is it Ron fantastic? Bucktastic?
Yeah.
Yes.
Ron brings it.
Harold Goodwin could do is just as well a point as an interim. The Bucs are not going to do that. I know what Ron is saying, but the Glazers don't do that. You're not going to fire a coach in the middle of the season, especially one in a team that is still in winning the division. I get it. There's a lot of people out there who don't like Todd Bowles, and I understand that, but they just don't do that. They're not going to have.
You imagine if the Steelers fired Mike Tomlin because whatever, Canada got fired yesterday or today,
and him in a heartbeat.
I'm just saying. Well, so let's just hypothetically. No, and I was going somewhere else with this, but let's just say that we have to bring in an offensive coach because that's what butters the bread in 2023, right? You want an offensive coach. You're going to draft Caleb Williams or whatever. If you're going to bring in a defensive coordinator like a Mike Tomlin or somebody, I'm trying to think of someone who has Tampa Bay ties, then maybe I'm on board. But at the end of the day, Todd Bowles, the last 4 years, all he's done is think about ways to stop Atlanta, Carolina, and New Orleans. Now, you bring in an entirely new coach with a new defense. That defense better be damn good because right now you got Bryce Young getting ready to get jiggy with it. You got Bijan and the boys up there in Atlanta, and then you have whatever's going on there. Well, actually, let's be honest, New Orleans sucks. But you're going to blow up the entire team, start a whole defensive philosophy, and then still try to find an offensive philosophy because mediocre isn't good enough. And that's what I was asking you earlier, Pete. And that's why I was asking Ben Cornett is like, has Todd Bowles done enough this year to make you go, well, I don't know how this thing's going to end, but I still think he could put this team together. I know he's not the most inspirational coach, but at the end of the day, it's like, oh, he's the best defensive coordinator. He's only a coordinator, but he still built this Buccaneers defense. And this Buccaneers defense in 2023, they've been down at times, but they've still shown that they're still the best defense in the NFC South. And I can say that without a shadow of a doubt. Who's better, Atlanta, New Orleans?
Not saying much, but they're not good when you're giving up
that's true.
And you're giving up all kinds of yardage. And
after the offense goes 3 and out 36 times, then you're giving up free plays.
I love catch up. This edition of the Sports Web. Hold on. This
brought to you by Heinz.
Will you shut up and be quiet? Let me do the friggin' sponsor here. Up there. There's a screen there, jackass. So I can do the screen.
Let's do it. On the spot. Hey, all three of us. Pete, you start. Let's all do this. Let's do it.
This edition.
My hot dog has a first name. It's OSCAR. My hot dog has a second name. It's PETER.
Pete, go ahead. Your turn. Let me hear you. Let me hear your on the spot.
I've lost.
Okay, can I do one then?
Sure,
I've lost all respect for you.
Anticipation. How you wait for the rest of the show. It's Heinz 57. Go Bucks.
And this is for you, Tom Banner. A little Heinz on your ketchup.
Woo! On my backside. Put it on the back of the buns.
Why do we go here with this? Why?
Is it after 10?
Seriously, we shut up and be quiet. Let's go.
You know what? It's not only is it after 10, but the Greek has to go. The wife said,
"Oh, come on.
I can't stay out and play with you."
We were supposed to get some picks from you, so let's go ahead and get tomorrow's picks.
Let's do it.
Picks for? Nobody wants my picks.
We want to win some money, Harry.
Yeah, I want to win some money tomorrow. So what are we betting on here tomorrow for Thanksgiving and Friday? And then
I'll tell you what.
Yes.
Banner, type the word yes or no in the comments right now if I could give picks out. He's my agent.
Yeah, all right. So there you go. If you
ask Tom Banner right now if the Greek can give out the picks.
If Harry can give out his picks. Yes or no. We'll make this very
interesting. Come on, Banner.
Come on, fans. If you want Harry to give out his picks.
No. Yeah,
Tom said yes. Okay,
let's do this. Because Harry, I stressed earlier, in case you missed it, let me just set you up, brother. The fact that all three of these games have a line that's at least 6.5 or greater, all three games. What does Harry the Greek see in these games tomorrow as far as the lines, the way they're set, and what maybe might or might not happen?
Well, first, I think it's all set up because of gambling. Ray and I were talking about this earlier today. Every one of the games tomorrow are all NFC matchups. There's nothing in the AFC. Nothing.
Cool.
Not Kansas City or anything. I mean, the first game you got Green Bay at Detroit, Washington at Dallas, San Francisco's at Seattle.
What are the lines?
Ray, 6.5. I'm sorry, the Detroit Lions are 7.5, going to be going to 8 points. If you wait till game time tomorrow, you can get 8 points if you like Green Bay.
Wow.
I didn't say that out loud. My ass is starting to itch because I just said I like Green Bay getting points.
Wow. Green
Bay sucks. Okay? But listen, guys, I'm not saying they're beating Detroit, but this is an NFC North game. Okay, they're supposed to destroy the cheese, but the Greek's giving you out a pick here. You got to take Green Bay and the points. Unfortunately,
Nice.
the total's 47.5. I don't know what to do at that game. The second game, Washington at Dallas, another division opponent.
What's the spread?
They're 13-point favorites at home. You got to take the underdog in the game. Take Washington plus the points. I can't see all these games being blowouts. And then you got Frisco, the hardest game of all of them. It's Frisco's minus 6.5. It's going to be 7 at Seattle. Really?
Oh,
you got to take Seattle plus the points.
Yes.
The Greek gave you out all 3 underdogs. Take the points. Do not put them on the money line. Stay away from the over-unders. It's going to be a real tricky games tomorrow. And the reason why they're tricky and the reason why I think the books are going to make a lot of money, it's because they know on Thanksgiving, most gamblers take the favorites.
Oh,
And tomorrow they won't, and they're going to lose a lot of money if you don't.
Nice. I like it.
I'll take the favorites tomorrow. You take the underdogs.
And you guys, you know why there's a hole in this roof over there at the AT&T Stadium where the Cowboys play?
Why is that?
Because God's a degenerate gambler.
Oh, all right.
Anyway, Peter, guys, thank you so much for having me on this evening. Don't forget, this segment was brought to you by Peter Blake and Heinz Ketchup over the top of his Vienna hot dog. Don't do it. Seriously. I'm Harry the Greek. Thanks for tuning in and let me have a few minutes of laughs. I want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. The things I'm happy for, I guess I have my health and I have a job and I'm making an absolute package betting sports. Tom, can't wait to see you guys. Much love. Thanks for making it down here. And as I always say, guys, something very inspirational. Keep your bets low and your returns high. Thanks for tuning in. Adios.
All right, there you go. Harry the Greek, professional handicapper extraordinaire of the Sports Web. Thanks a lot for your time. Happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy the ketchup on the turkey tomorrow.
Ketchup on turkey?
Yeah, there you go.
Now you're pissing me off.
There you go. Get out of here. There you go. All right, so let's go out to Tampa Bay. Ray Kennedy, give me your
Hang
final.
on. One last word for thought. The word of the day, ladies and gentlemen, is malaka.
Oh.
Shut up! Oh my God, who the hell cares?
Hey, man, happy
How about
Thanksgiving.
you?
Go Bucs. Goodbye.
See you later. There you go. Harry the Greek with all his statements and words and all the stuff I don't understand at all. Let's go out to Tampa Bay. Ray, your final thoughts here on the Evolution.
It's going to sound self-serving, and it is, but when you first asked me about an hour and maybe 2 hours ago, I was on a sidewalk out there in front of the Brass Captain, which the guys confirmed, Peter, it's Blackout Wednesday. That place, before I can get out of there, I could barely crawl. And the great thing about it is I had people coming up, and they're return visitors to the Sports Web. They're like, I've seen your show. I love this. And so tonight it was just giving them the links, and they're going to go there. But you asked, as far as the Bucs in Tampa Bay, what I'm most thankful for. And I'm just going to tell you what first popped into my head. And I don't care as we close out the Sports Web here on a Wednesday night. And happy Thanksgiving to everybody. The first thing that popped into my head, and this is not disrespect to anyone that's doing it, because we have a lot of good guys, a lot of hustlers, kings and queens here that are doing it in Tampa Bay. But the thing I'm most thankful for as far as the Buccaneers, Tampa Bay sports, and what I'm thankful for this 2023 Thanksgiving is that there's nobody else in the Bay Area that can come close to doing what we do and how we do it. And it's a pleasure to do it. And we're getting traction. People are noticing. And they're noticing because they realize this is really great content, but they realize most importantly that we enjoy what we do. And that is covering Tampa Bay sports with the people of Tampa Bay. And it's all about what you have to say, not just what we have to say. So what am I most thankful for? I'm most thankful for being the side saddle hustler to you and Mr. Harry the Greek, brother. That's what I'm thankful for this 2023. That and the fact that I love my family and I love you guys.
Appreciate you, brother. We love you too. Happy Thanksgiving. We're definitely thankful for you, and we'll see you on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television live from Raymond James Stadium as USF tries to become bowl eligible this year by defeating Charlotte. Yes.
Can I say one more thing? Guys, girls, if you haven't, this is one of those things. These days we're buying everything off our phones immediately. Oh, you want new shoes? Amazon will have them here in the morning. You want this? It's going to be 2:00. You want something from Walmart, Drizzly? You want a nice 6-pack of beer? It'll be here in 30 minutes. Trust me when I say this, as we feel this great weather moving into the Bay Area. Coach Alex Malesh of the USF Bulls looked at Peter Blake and I straight in the face last week. He said, look, just get the word out. We got a bunch of recruits coming next Saturday night. The Bucs are going to be out of town. And he didn't say that, but I'm paraphrasing. And I'm telling you guys and girls this, I will stake my reputation on one thing. There's not a better investment in the Bay Area than the 10 or 20 bucks you're going to spend to take your kids over to see the excitement, the thrilling, just the excitement, the students, the cheerleaders, the band there in Raymond James Stadium. And then, of course, we get the approval this year to build that on-stadium campus, on-campus stadium, which will be done supposedly maybe in 2026. This Saturday night, as the Bucs are out of town, Saturday night, the weather's going to be in the 50s or 60s. Buy the tickets, take your kids. Don't just to show them that college is a great place, because at the end of the day, parents, don't we all want that? And if you're a FSU or a USF grad or someone else in the Bay Area that just wants to see good ball, come out and support this team, because the recruits are coming into town. The excitement's real. And if the Bulls win, they're 6-5. They're bowl eligible. If they don't win, they still have the best season they've had in a decade. But you want to be on this train now so that in 2 or 3 years, when we're top 25, you can say, I've been there since the beginning, and the beginning is now. The corner is turned. Horns up, USF. Let's do this on Saturday night and get the 6th victory of the season.
Love it. Tampa Bay, Ray Kennedy, best of the Bay. Thanks a lot for your time, and we'll see you soon here. Happy Thanksgiving, and be safe, my friend. All right?
Brother, happy Thanksgiving, and I love you, brother. I'll talk to you soon.
Love you too, brother. There we go. So we'll go ahead and read the rest of these comments, and we will get out of here for the night. Your Thanksgiving edition of the Evolution of Sports Talk Television. Put Mahomes during Brady. Start Mahomes. Couldn't compete with Brady. Enough said. Good stuff there. Tom says buckets would be slow. Could make a starting lineup is my point, and undersized. Tom says yes. Detroit destroys the cheese. I'll take Seattle and the points. And Jeremy Lowe, happy Thanksgiving. Go Bucs. Thanks a lot to all the guests for the night, especially you. As I always say here, and I said it on my Facebook post, you are the lifeblood of what we do here on the Sports Web. Appreciate you. Thanks to Harry, the great professional handicapper extraordinaire of this show. Of course, best of the Bay, Tampa Bay Ray Kennedy. Like and subscribe to the Sports Web on YouTube. Friend me on Facebook at Peter H. Blake, and do 3 things for me on this Thanksgiving edition. Bring your passion. Bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. I'm your host, Peter Blake, your Rolex reporter. What time is it? It's my time. And for the Tampa Bay sportsman and fans of the Sports Web, it's your time. Have a great night, and we'll see you soon on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television.
You